Ada landfall live stream and forecast. Hello and welcome to WKP. Today we're going to be tracking Hurricane Ada, which has winds possibly of 155 miles per hour. Right now we're going to be taking a look at that once the next update comes out in the next hour. Ada is going to be making landfall quite soon. We're going to be going over what the effects of Ada will be on land. We're also going to be streaming until Ada makes landfall. Hopefully I'll be able to stream that long. I don't know if I'll be able to stay awake for that long, and if I am a little stuttery or silly when I'm talking, it's because I'm quite tired right now. It is very late right now, around 12:10. So we're going to get into this stream right now. Okay. Oh, wrong thing. So here's the aircraft reconnaissance for Ada, and as you can see, in some spots we could be seeing winds of 137 knots, which is around 160 miles per hour, I do believe, and that was just aircraft recon recently. Let's go down to here. The highest wind speeds are around 125 miles per hour. Initially, when the aircraft recon was going through, we were getting winds of around 140 knots. So we were getting winds around 160 miles per hour. So it's possible we could have had a Category 5. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. And no new missions have been going in. Here's what the wind speed and rain rate are. As you can see, it look like it's pretty high. So we're going to be going to the National Hurricane Center and going over what the National Hurricane Center is showing. I do believe on the next update we will have a different pressure change for this. For Ada, I believe the pressure will be around 922 millibars next update. So here's the arrival time of winds. We're going to pull up my marker here, and as you can see, winds are probably already arriving Tuesday 8 a.m. They're going quite inland in Nicaragua. Right now they're already arriving in parts of Honduras and Nicaragua. We're going to be seeing a quite high chance of wind speeds for those areas. As you can see, for parts of Honduras, we could be seeing a 90% chance of tropical storm force winds, and also parts of Honduras quite far down are looking like we could be seeing tropical storm force winds. So definitely a wide wind field on this storm. I would expect tropical storm force winds extending from around here down. So we could be seeing quite widespread tropical storm winds. Definitely quite widespread rain damage, especially because we're going to be seeing such high winds. As you can see, around an 80% chance where landfall is going to occur of hurricane force winds. And we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of rain. Here's the official track line for Ada, and as you can see, landfall of a major hurricane. Hurricane warnings issued for Honduras down quite far into Nicaragua. We're probably going to be seeing a Category 5 on landfall. That is what the National Hurricane Center is predicting. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do see an eyewall replacement cycle happen, since this storm has been rapidly intensifying. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see an eyewall replacement cycle. So here's the track. As you can see, recurve back out over ocean, and now the newest track line is showing we'll be seeing Ada re-strengthen into a tropical storm over land, and this is very, very big. This is definitely not a good thing, because that would mean we could possibly be seeing effects in places around Cuba, and some models are predicting Florida could be seeing the effects of Ada. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. Okay, here's what Ada's looking like on satellite imagery. Quite good, still very strong, very perfect eye, and really we haven't been seeing any weakening, only intensification with Ada. Again, next update is at 1 in the morning, so that's when we'll be seeing what Ada is right now. And I'm going to be going into the models to show you what these models are exactly showing. So I want to go to the GFS model first. We're going to be going on to the Atlantic-wide view. And the reason I want to show you this model is because the GFS is predicting a Florida landfall. At least last time I went over this model. So here's what we're going to be seeing: re-strengthening over water. And then GFS is now taking Eta out over land and into Texas, possibly Louisiana. So we definitely have to keep an eye on Eta, because it's looking like Eta will go back into the Gulf and become a Gulf storm, which is another very big issue. Luckily, I wouldn't expect very fast intensification in the Gulf, because some waters near land right around here are quite cool. The really where we could see big intensification is right in this area when Eta recurves back out over water, and the reason for that is the water in that area is very, very warm and conducive for development. Let's take a look at some of the other models. We're going to go to the GFS para here, and it's going to load. Okay. Very slowly load. What we're going to be seeing is landfall there. Recurve back. Look at that Florida possibility of seeing landfall. Panhandle of Florida getting landfall of around a tropical storm strength. And I'm going to go to the ECMWF or Euro model, and that'll be the last model we're going over for now. I'll definitely be going over more models soon. So landfall there, recurve back out over water, and the Euro is really having that, having Eta rapidly intensify over water. This is definitely a big issue, because if this were to happen, we could be seeing a very, very, very large hurricane landfall in some of these neighboring areas around Cuba. Possibly Jamaica could even be seeing effects, I would expect, if this scenario pans out. So, let's go back to the aircraft reconnaissance, see if we have anything new. No, we don't. Let's take a look at what the pressure in Eta was. Wrong map, I am sorry. We're going to be taking a quick look at the pressure, and if you're just joining, I'm going to be doing this stream until landfall, so stay tuned. Okay, so I'm going to try to find, oh boy, it is not up right now, so that is a very, very big issue. We don't have any pressure readings right now to go over. There was a map that showed the pressure, so sadly we don't have that up. But we can go over some other things. I want to go over what the effects of Eta will be once on landfall. So, right now, if you're in Nicaragua, right around landfall, where landfall is going to occur, I would expect to start seeing some tropical storm force winds quite soon, probably within the next couple of hours. Probably around 1 in the morning is when you'll start really getting those tropical storm force winds, and I would expect hurricane force winds once see this center right around here, or I mean the outer bands right there, the strongest part of the storm. That'll probably move on within the next, what looks like probably the next couple of hours, so around 2 a.m. to probably around 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning is when I would start expecting hurricane force winds for the path of landfall. As you can see, the strongest winds will be around that eye, which will make landfall right around 4, probably to 4:30 a.m. in the morning. Then it'll be, of course, the strongest winds right around that eye wall, right around here. And then the weakest winds will be right in the eye. So you may get just a tiny bit of a break in the eye. And the sad thing about this storm is it's moving quite slow. So as it moves through its path, on land, it'll be dropping plenty of rain. So I want to go over what we could be seeing for rain, since I did just mention that. So catastrophic wind damage is expected where Eta's eye wall moves onshore along the northeastern coast of Nicaragua tonight or early Tuesday, and a tropical storm force winds are beginning to reach the coast within the hurricane warning area in Nicaragua. Residents there should have completed their preparations. A tropical storm warning is also in effect for northeastern coast of Honduras. Catastrophic and life-threatening storm surge along with destructive waves are expected along portions of the northeastern coast of Nicaragua, near and to the north of where the center makes landfall. Water levels could reach as high as 14 to 21 feet above normal tide levels in some parts of the hurricane warning area. Preparations to protect life and property should now be complete. Through Friday evening, heavy rainfall from Eta will likely lead to catastrophic, life-threatening flash flooding and river flooding across portions of Central America, along with landslides in areas with higher terrain. Flash flooding and river flooding is also possible across Jamaica, southeast Mexico, Mexico, El Salvador, and southern Haiti and the Cayman Islands. So we're going to be seeing definitely a lot of flash flooding with this storm. So that is definitely worst case scenario. Okay. We're going to be going to the current storm information, and I'm going to be going over the spaghetti models for you guys. Hopefully this loads. And it appears it's not loading, so I'm going to go to Tropical Tidbits. And it turns out both aren't loading, which is very, very annoying. Okay, here we go. So, here are these ooh, boy. Spaghetti models have just updated, and as you can see, quite wild. We still have a few models taking this system out to the Pacific Ocean, but the likely track is out over into the Caribbean Sea. As you can see, possible landfall in Cuba, so I would definitely watch the tropics if you're in Cuba. And then one model is taking it out over into the Gulf, which is definitely a second worst case scenario. After this landfall of a major hurricane, we have another worst case scenario, a Gulf storm, after we've been seeing so many Gulf storms quite lately. So we'll also have to keep an eye on that. It's looking like we will definitely be seeing some effects in Belize also right now, because Ada will be moving through that area. I would definitely expect some wind for Belize, and definitely a little bit of rain. So we'll definitely also have to keep an eye on these islands right here. I'm sorry, I don't know what they are. Excuse me on that. And if there is going to be a landfall in Cuba, I would definitely expect possibly a tropical storm or hurricane in that area. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to keep an eye on what is going on. Let's go to the newest intensity guidance. One model has Ada making it to Category 5 hurricane strength, and the others take it to a mid Category 4 hurricane, and then making landfall and rapidly weakening, probably down maybe to a depression, and then possibly starting to increase in strength once again. So that's definitely what we're seeing right now. Worst case scenario for landfall, I would expect wind speeds where we'll be seeing landfall winds sustained of 145 miles per hour, gusting around 170 on land. So definitely the worst case scenario with the storm, and I know I've said that a lot, but that is really important. Also in this video, I'm going to be answering any comments and questions you guys may have, so please comment all questions down below. I'm going to be going into those comments right now. So I'm going to hit mute on my volume so you guys can't hear me. I really don't want to make this embarrassing to have double so that's definitely what we're seeing right now. If you have any questions, worst case scenario for landfall, I would expect an eye on this. I'm going to be moving out of the stream and back out onto what we're doing right now, which is tracking Ada. 12:22 right now. That means we're only about 40 minutes away from the next update. So on the next update, I would expect to see possibly, maybe, we could be seeing winds of 155 miles per hour with Ada, but based on the fact that the oh man, I keep messing this up. I am so sorry. But the fact that I keep seeing the wind speeds on aircraft recon are just around 125 knots makes me believe maybe we're seeing some weakening in Ada. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. So let's see here. Okay, so the lowest pressures we had with Ada, the lowest one recorded is around at 920 millibars, and as you can see, highest wind speeds around 125 miles per hour. We were getting wind speeds at around 160 miles per hour at one point. You can see that orange area right around there. That's 137 knots plus. So over, I believe 137 knots is around 160 miles per hour. Please don't quote me on that. I forgot what the actual wind speed is on that. So as you can see in this area right around that eye wall, the strongest part of the storm, that wind is from 113 to 137 knots. So that is around Category 4, maybe brink of Category 5 hurricane strength. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. I don't know when the next reconnaissance mission is going out. We'll have to see that soon. Hopefully there is another mission that is going to be going out soon, because we do need more information on this storm. So here is the airplane right now, and it is heading back to headquarters in what looks like Louisiana. So heading back home. And we'll probably be seeing another one go out quite soon. So let's take a look at these spaghetti models right here, because this gives a good idea of what the pressure will be. So on average, most are taking it in around 979 millibars, which is probably not very accurate right now, based on the fact that it already has a pressure of around 925 millibars, making it brink of Category 5. National Hurricane Center is predicting a Category 5 out of this storm, and we'll be seeing it weaken to around 1,004 millibars, and then 1,006 right before it enters back out over water, and then out over water 996 millibars. So a weak category, or a weak tropical storm, and then probably by the time we could be seeing landfall in Cuba, some models are predicting around 980 to 970 millibars, and at least 2 are predicting 990 to 980. So possibly Category 1, more than likely a strong tropical storm on landfall for Cuba. And we'll definitely have to keep an eye on this storm also if it goes out over Florida. As you can see, one model is bringing it into Florida with a pressure of around 990 to 980 millibars, making it nearly Category 1 hurricane. And we could also be seeing some effects in other areas. So that is what the models are showing. And we're really going to have to just be tooling around with this storm until we get the next update. So, oh man, I keep messing up and going to the live stream. We're going to be going to the National Hurricane Center, and we're going to be refreshing the page to see if we have any new information of any kind. And I don't think we do have any new information, which is definitely quite sad. We'll just have to wait this one out. So right now, as you can see, 927 millibars. I believe on the next update that'll be decreased down to 925 millibars. And let's see if there are any other systems out in the Atlantic. No, there are not. So really, we only have Ada right now, which is good. So let's take a look at the satellite imagery right now, and let's see what the description is saying. So, Ada's continued to rapidly strengthen as it approaches northeastern Nicaragua. Life-threatening storm surge and catastrophic winds and landslides are likely. So, winds are sustained around 150 miles per hour. Doesn't really give any predictions, but here's what we're seeing with Ada. As you can see, very, very nice eye, very compact. It doesn't look like Ada is showing any signs of an eye wall replacement, though we could be seeing that soon. That's definitely one of the factors we'll have to keep in mind as Ada intensifies over water. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that, because that has happened quite a lot. We've seen Zeta do that. Or no, we've seen Delta do that. Excuse me, wrong storm. We've seen Delta go from like a Category 4 down to a Category 2, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at the wind history, and as you can see, hurricane force winds have expanded a good bit, and tropical storm force winds are quite wide, so I would expect on landfall maybe tropical storm force winds extending from here down to around here. So that's how wide I think the tropical storm force winds will extend on land. So that's what we'll probably be seeing. Here's what the track has been so far, and as you can see, very, very wide wind field on it right now. Let's take a look at this warning and cone map. Okay, so as you can see, very, very wide cone of uncertainty with this storm. We're going to be seeing basically anywhere from Cancun down to the middle of the Caribbean. We're also going to be seeing possible effects in Guatemala and Belize, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on those areas. Already affected by Nana earlier this year, which I covered on quite a long time ago, and we're going to be seeing landfall quite soon out of Ada. Okay, sorry if the stream gets a little bit boring. We're basically on a very, very slow ride with Ada. If you have any questions right now, please comment them down below. I'm going to be taking another look at this warning and cone map. As far as questions. Okay, so as you can see, very, very wide cone of uncertainty with this storm. Still, please ask any questions you have. I will surely answer them as far as what you have, wind speed, effects, anything like that. We're going to go to satellite imagery, and I want to take a few looks at true color. This is very interesting right here. As you can see, very nice eye. Nearing landfall, nearing landfall. We're going to be seeing landfall quite soon. I want to focus on the forecast models right now. These are quite important. I want to definitely go to the H-WRF model, which has been surprisingly very, very accurate. H-WRF has this making landfall, or has it approaching with a pressure of 924 millibars, which we've already saw in this storm already. So I do believe Ada already has 924 millibars, leading me to believe that the H-WRF is basically on point with this storm, and it has it weakening a slight bit before landfall, making it to around 947 millibars on landfall. So still strong category 4 landfall. I don't think we'll be seeing category 5 landfall right now. We may see it intensify to category 5, but based on the H-WRF-P, it's not looking like we'll see category 5 landfall, though I do believe this is probably the most accurate model we have as of now. As you can see, we're not going to be seeing very rapid weakening right around the border of border of Honduras and Nicaragua. We could be seeing this still a tropical storm, which is not what the National Hurricane Center is showing, but it's what the H-WRF is showing, and we could be seeing it stay a tropical storm for quite a bit, and then we'll be seeing it re-enter water, and the H-WRF doesn't go any further than that. We'll be taking a look at the other hurricane models too, because the hurricane models seem to be a slight bit more accurate and a little more aggressive than the global models. So as you can see, around 939 millibars is what the H-WRF-P has this storm getting to, which I don't think is very accurate, because we're already seeing that with Ada right now, and then a landfall, then recurving back out over water, and possibly a little bit, just a little bit of intensification. We'll probably be seeing more as it moves on towards Florida. So, and we'll be going over the HMON also, and I'll be showing you what that model is showing, and then we'll be on our way to the next update, which is near, very near. So okay, so what we're seeing in far as trends, I've been seeing this trend. We're going to be seeing it strengthen probably right before landfall, making it on the brink, possibly category 5 right before landfall. Definitely we're going to be seeing its pressure go down a bit, and then it's just going to be it's going to start to weaken just a tad bit before landfall. This won't change the effects, but I would expect on landfall that we will be seeing a little bit of a weaker storm, probably around category 4 with winds 145 to 150 miles per hour. We'll definitely be seeing it weaken a little bit. That's definitely a trend the models are starting to pick up. If you have noticed that we could be seeing that weakening before landfall, that may be an eye wall replacement. We'll have to keep an eye on that. And the HMON, yes, keeps it just kind of tootling around Belize. That would definitely bring some heavy rainfall in Belize. We'll also have to keep tracking the rainfall potential and storm surge potential for Nicaragua. Where would the storm surge be the strongest? Well, that's likely where the winds will be pushing on the strongest, and I would expect storm surge. Please keep an eye on your local forecast areas if you are being in the affected area of this storm for official predictions, but here's what we're going to be seeing. I would expect storm surge to be pushed on right around here, and it would probably be the strongest around there, as you heard, probably around possibly up to 21 feet. I would expect storm surge basically all the way along this coast right here of Nicaragua up to possibly around here. I would expect the least storm surge. Just a sec. Okay, I would expect the least storm surge right around here, because the winds will be pushing in this general direction, so not pushing the water on land. And I would expect the worst of this storm surge down here, because that wind is going to be pushing the water right up onto land. So that's what I expect as far as storm surge. And we also have to keep an eye on the rainfall potentials. And because the storm is going to be moving quite slow over land, I would expect quite a bit of rainfall for this area of Honduras and Nicaragua. So what I want to go to now is the GFS model, which will give us a good idea of exactly how much rainfall we could be seeing with Ada. So we're going to be going to the satellite, we're going to be going to the forecast models, and we're going to be taking a look at what the GFS is showing. So we're going to go to regions, and we're going to go to the North Atlantic, and we're going to zoom on in here. Just a sec. Okay, we're going to be watching and seeing what the amount of rain will be. So as you can see, we're going to be seeing Ada move slowly over land, and we're definitely going to be seeing quite a bit of rain for all these areas. I would definitely expect really a lot of rain for Honduras and Belize, and we'll also have to keep an eye on like I said, Belize, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Belize all should keep an eye on this rainfall. Also, Guatemala should also keep an eye on the rainfall. I wouldn't expect as much rainfall for Guatemala, but we're also going to be seeing effects up into possibly Cuba, just a little bit of rain there, and Jamaica, and then we'll be seeing this system recurve, and then definitely bringing rainfall into Cuba, and as you can see, possibly Louisiana landfall, once again making it the 7th storm to hit Louisiana, if that were to pan out. I don't think that is quite likely, but the heaviest of the rain will definitely be for portions of Nicaragua and Honduras, where that storm will be making landfall. So let's take a look here. If you have any questions, please answer them. Ask them right now. I'll have to keep an eye on, right now. So like I said, Belize, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Belize all should keep. Ask them, and I'll be answering them throughout the video. So let's take a look and refresh the page and see if we have anything new. I'm going to take a look at the newest satellite imagery. Okay, I don't think it's updated. Maybe we could be seeing a little bit of a weakening there. As you can see, the there's less convection in it right around now, so maybe a little bit of weakening, but still looking very, very strong and very, very nice. So very, very wild spaghetti models with this storm. Still, shockingly, we still don't have a great idea of what it's going to do. And we're getting very, very close to the next update on the National Hurricane Center. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. We're getting so close. I'm going to pull up the National Hurricane Center right now. Okay. Wrong thing. Here it is. So we haven't gotten the update yet, but we're very, very close to it. Update's going to be coming at 1 a.m. in the morning. Right now it is 12:38, so 20 minutes from update, and I'm going to be taking a quick break. I'll be back at 12:45. I need to get a little bit of water. My throat's starting to dry out. I'm going to go downstairs, get some water, and I'll be right back giving you more forecasts and more updates. I'm definitely excited for the 1 o'clock update, because that'll really be the big, it'll really show what we're going to be seeing on landfall. I'll be back. Stay tuned. Please stay on. Don't get bored. Okay, I got some water, and I'm back. I'm gonna be waiting till 12:45 to be back on the stream once again. I'm gonna pull up the satellite imagery for you guys to watch while I'm sitting here and drinking the water to get my voice back to where it was. Please ask any questions if you have any. Okay, I'm gonna restart a little bit earlier than I said. My voice is feeling better, and I do have some water with me, so that is quite good. I'll be keeping that alongside with me as we're doing this live stream. We're coming within the next. We're coming within 20 minutes of the next National Hurricane Center update. Sorry, I'm getting my blankets on the bed. It's cold here tonight. Let's see if we haven't had an update yet. No, we haven't. Still, same thing. We're looking at the same track. Here's what the track is showing if you haven't joined yet. As you can see, recurving out over water, turning back into a tropical storm, possibly could pose some threat for upwards into Cuba, possibly even into the United States. We could be seeing this turn into a Gulf storm. Likely major hurricane landfall, that's quite likely as of now. Storm surge, definitely very likely. And a very slow moving storm is definitely also quite likely. Rainfall, flooding, and landslides are also very likely as of now for areas in Nicaragua and Honduras. Okay, I'm going to be answering any questions. Please comment all questions below. Okay.
Let's see if we haven't had an update yet. No, we haven't.
Ask them right now, and I'll be getting to them quite soon. So, that is Ada on satellite imagery, looking very, very nice. Still, quite a bit of convection in it, even though it looks like it may be losing some of that convection. Still, very perfect eye, very, very nice looking, and this eye really hasn't changed much in the last hour, so I don't think we'll see much more changing. Really, the eyes just remained absolutely perfect. The outer bands right now are making their initial landfall on Honduras and Nicaragua. I would expect these to bring tropical storm force winds, and to prove my point, sort of, let's take a look at the wind field, or wind history. As you can see, yes, tropical storm winds are already making landfall on Honduras and Nicaragua. Hurricane force winds are going to be coming into Nicaragua within the next couple of hours, and I will be live streaming, hopefully until landfall, which will be around 4 to 4:30 a.m. in the morning. So we still have a couple more hours to go. I'll be definitely taking a few breaks between them, but we'll be doing a rundown of the next update in the next 20 minutes when that update comes. So as you can see, yes, definitely getting tropical storm force winds there already. The hurricane force wind field really hasn't expanded much, and I would actually expect it to shrink just a tad bit before landfall, so I don't think the hurricane force wind field will get very, very much larger. But who's to say that could happen? But I think it's more likely we'll see it hit its peak intensity, which will be at this next update, and then weaken just a tad bit before landfall. So, here's the 3-day forecast, and as you can see, Guatemala now is looking like they need to keep an eye on this storm in the next 3 days. So, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala, and Belize all need to keep an eye on this storm. And for the 5-day forecast, we'll need to keep an eye on Mexico. Here's the full forecast. As you can see, Mexico also needs to keep an eye on Ada. So definitely all eyes on Ada. So we're going to be tracking Ada. Ada is coming quite close to landfall as of now. Let's take a look at some of the other models that I haven't shown, like the NAVGEM, one of the models I particularly like to use. We'll see what it is showing after it loads. Okay, it has loaded. We're going to be seeing landfall, of course, up in Nicaragua and Belize, possibly seeing the storm go out to the Pacific and then floating back into the Atlantic and re-strengthening. I don't really know what's going on with NAVGM. I don't think that's probably the most accurate. I don't think we're going to be seeing it float between 2 oceans, but that is possible. But I think the more likely outcome is that we will be seeing it go back out into the Caribbean. So here's what the icon model is showing. We're going to be going over that right now. So look at that, landfall, and then we're going to be seeing it recurve out over water again, strengthening, making landfall in Cuba, and then going up and making landfall in North Florida. So that'll definitely be bringing some effects to North Florida and Georgia. So that'll be quite wild. Let's take a look at the JMA model also. It's more of a short-term model, and we'll be seeing what it is showing. Landfall in Nicaragua and Honduras, and it's going to have it stall, basically. Sadly, the JMA model doesn't really take anything that far. We also need to keep an eye on the waves, the wave height. So, for that, we need the WW3 model. This is a very, very good model. It shows wind direction, and it also shows wave height. So, here's what we're going to be seeing. The JMA, or wow, it's not really showing much wave height. I think we are going to be seeing some high wave height though with Ada, and that's what the National Hurricane Center is saying. So I don't know what's going on with the WW3 model. That is quite strange that we're not going to be seeing that much rain. At least it's not predicting that much waves. Throat's drying out again. I'm not sick. Try talking for an hour. You'll figure it out. So definitely have to keep an eye on Ada. So we're refreshing the page here. And I just realized okay, these models have updated. More are taking it into Florida. As you can see, look at that, snaking into Florida. Most are taking it into Florida now and into the Gulf. But it kind of looks like an octopus. Like, here's its head. And here's its tentacles. So, we have kind of an octopus for track lines right now. So, very, very funny coincidence right there. But we'll definitely have to keep an eye on this. One model is taking this down to 970 to 960 millibars, making it possibly Category 2 strength. So we could be seeing a possible Category 2 in this area. Likely Category 1 now is going to be moving on into the Florida area. So we'll definitely have to keep a very close eye on that. It's looking like most models are predicting tropical storm and possibly hurricane strength once again once we see Ada move back out over the Caribbean. And right now we're going to be seeing like around, most models are predicting around 962 millibars on landfall, which is unlikely as of now. What we're really going to be seeing is probably in the 920s to 930s of millibars on landfall. So we are getting within the 10-minute mark of the next update. Here's the intensity guidance if you have not already seen it. One model taking Ada to Category 5. Most of the models taking Ada rapidly weakening right on landfall and possibly re-strengthening just a tad bit once Ada gets back out over water. And when we'll be seeing that re-strengthening will happen in about 108 to around 144 maybe to 168 hours from now. And when we're going to be seeing Eta make landfall is within the next hour, basically. Within the next couple of hours. And by the 24 to 36 hour mark, we'll be seeing Eta as a tropical storm. So that is definitely good for inland Honduras and inland Nicaragua, but we'll definitely be seeing very, very, very strong rainfall in those areas. Here are the key messages from the National Hurricane Center. Catastrophic wind damage is expected, and all preparation should be done 14 to 21 feet above normal tide levels, and storm surge on the northeastern coast of Nicaragua near and to north of where the center makes landfall. And through Friday evening, heavy rainfall from Eta will likely lead to catastrophic, life-threatening flash flooding and river flooding across portions of Central America, along with landslides in areas of higher terrain. Flash flooding and river flooding is also possible across Jamaica, southeast Mexico, El Salvador, southern Haiti, and the Cayman Islands. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that because of the very, very, very strong rainfall. We'll see if we have gotten the update yet, and no, we have not. Still on the 10 o'clock update. So, who would have thought it takes so long to wait for an update happening within the next 10 minutes? It's just how the way tracking goes. If you are watching the stream and have any questions, please put them in the comments right now. I'm going to be checking comments while we're waiting for landslides in areas of higher terrain.
So, no flash flooding and river flooding is also possible across Jamaica, southeast Mexico, El Salvador, southern Haiti, and the Cayman Islands.
You may have, and I'll be getting to those quite soon. We've been taking a look at the models, basically all the models. The one model we haven't looked at is GFS Para, so let's take a quick look at that while we're waiting for the next update. Really, we're just going to be tootling over old information for the next couple of minutes until we hit that update. So GFS Para is taking it in around 962 millibars, which, as we saw, was the average on those spaghetti models track. We're going to be seeing possibly reformation overland and then landfall right into South Florida, Pensacola. So really, I would put areas that we need to watch. Here, let me zoom in a little bit here. Areas that we should watch for possible landfall once Eta goes back out over water: Cuba, Jamaica, Florida. Basically all of Florida should keep an eye on this, and possibly I'm going to put this in blue because that's a very unlikely case scenario as of now. Possibly right around there, Texas and Louisiana. Those are all the areas we need to keep an eye on for landfall of Eta on the second, possibly even third landfall from Eta. So that's where we need to keep an eye on as of now. As for rain totals, we need to keep an eye on Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, Belize, and Mexico for strong rain. We'll need to keep an eye on those areas, along with Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Cuba, all for strong rain. And it's looking like right now we'll very likely see landfall in Cuba. Now we're getting within the 5-minute mark of the update. We're gonna be I'm gonna update this page right now and see if we haven't had the update already. No, we haven't. Oh, yes, we have. 923 millibars right now. 150 mile an hour wind. Still, I don't know why they haven't updated the wind yet. It should be really at a category 5 right now, but here's the wind history, and as you can see, we may be seeing a little... we're seeing basically the same tropical storm force winds are moving on in. Wind speed probabilities are extended just a little bit more inland. 90% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds definitely in Honduras and well into Nicaragua, and likely we'll be seeing tropical storm force winds extend basically from Honduras down into Nicaragua. Not as far as that line drew, probably around here is where we'll be seeing the tropical storm force winds extend into. Let's take a look at the arrival times for winds. Winds are arriving as of now We're going to be seeing winds arrive inland around 8 a.m. And if you're up in Belize or Guatemala or El Salvador, I would expect winds to arrive around Tuesday, 8 p.m. So we're going to be seeing this storm very, very slowly tootle across land. Let's take a look at the new track lines. Hopefully there is a new track line. Doesn't look like there is a new one. I think basically same track line as we were seeing before. I'm going to go to the Weather Channel so we can see exactly what the National Hurricane Center is predicting wind to be on landfall. So we're going to be going over this quite soon. Radar. Any questions you have, please comment them right now, and I'll be getting to them within the next couple of minutes. So, we're going to be waiting for this to load. As we wait for this to load, I am going to do a quick look at the newest track models. So let's refresh this page. Still 130 knots. It still doesn't look like we have had any new model updates. So basically, that's what we have right now. And we're waiting for this to load. Very slow. I am very sorry about this. We will be getting to that track quite soon. I'm going to refresh all these pages that I have up except for my YouTube live stream page. I'm going to be refreshing the National Hurricane Center page. Okay. Yeah. Basically all the same information as we had. Let's take a look at the new satellite imagery. Okay. We probably aren't seeing a lot. I don't think we'll be seeing an eye wall replacement at all. Here's the true color zoomed out, and as you can see, it's not looking like we will see an eye wall replacement, though it's still not out of the question that we could be seeing that. Let's take a look at the radar that still hasn't uploaded. Oh, finally. Okay. We're gonna get the track lines up for Ada. We'll be seeing if we're still gonna, if National Hurricane Center is still predicting Category 5 landfall. Yes, they are still. We're going to probably be seeing Category 5 landfall winds 160 miles per hour, gusting to 195 miles per hour. So extreme winds with Ada. Here's Puerto Cabezas. Please forgive me on the pronouncing of that place. We'll probably be seeing quite strong winds in that area. The eye is right around this size, so it'll be moving on and around here. And the eye wall, the strongest part of the storm with the strongest winds, will be in Puerto Cabezas. So sadly, they won't even be seeing a break. They'll just be seeing the full battering winds of the storm. They'll likely be receiving winds of over 100 miles per hour sustained. I would expect Puerto Cabezas, if you're there, I would expect winds to be around 100 miles or 140 miles per hour sustained, gusting up into the 170s. So that's what I would expect for Puerto Cabezas. Definitely something you want to hunker down for now. Definitely something you do not want to be out in. We're going to be taking a look at also, here's what Rosita is going to be experiencing. Probably hurricane force winds around this area, and tropical storm force winds in this area. And then it looks like Ada will be moving into higher terrain in this area, which will lead to landslides. So landslides will probably be in this area where higher terrain is. If you live anywhere where there's higher terrain, please be ready for mudslides, landslides, all of that. And we're going to be seeing Ada re-strengthen to a tropical storm with winds of 45 miles per hour, gusting to 60 out over the land again. And we're also taking a look at these cities we've already been seeing. We've been seeing Belize. We've been seeing Cancun, where the cone almost extends to. Playa del Carmen, where Delta made landfall. And we're also taking a look, please forget, I don't know how to pronounce this place. I'm not going to try it, but that place has already been affected already by a few hurricanes this year. We've been tracking those. Nana and Delta have really been affecting this area and I believe Zeta may have also affected some of these areas. So we've been basically looking at the same places all year so far for those tropical weather. So, any questions you may have, I'm going to be answering them right
Ada
now.
re-strengthened to a tropical storm with winds of 45 miles per hour gusting to 60 out
so
over the land again. And we're also taking a look at these.
Answering those soon. I'm going to be taking a quick break, so in 10 minutes I'll be back and I'll be going over some more of the tracks. For now, I'll keep you looking at the radar or satellite imagery. Definitely a good time while you're on break to plug the computer in. Okay. Now the charger just fell out of the wall. Oh well, we'll be dealing with this later. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble while I'm on a little bit of a break. I'll be going over some of the aircraft recon when I am back. And I'll probably be coming back at 1:05. Okay, I'm coming back right now. 1:05 a.m. in the morning. Hopefully you can't hear my dog barking in the background. Yes, so we are back. We're going to be taking a look and seeing if there is any more aircraft recon. And if you've just joined, hello and welcome. We're going to be going over Ada in this live stream. So I don't think we have any more aircraft recon missions right now, which is shockingly very, very strange. I would definitely expect a new mission soon, because we'll need to get that update at 3 a.m. in the morning, which will be the next update. So it'll be quite some time before we get that update. Let's take a look at what the wind speeds are in the area where that storm is making landfall, going to make landfall as a Category 5. So, temperature and wind. Okay, let's take a look at the wind reports in the area where Ada is going to make landfall. So, we don't really have any weather stations near this area. So, as of now, winds are very calm. Though we do know tropical storm force winds around here, there really isn't any stations there, so we really won't be able to know exactly what happens. That's definitely an issue we'll have to keep an eye on. My voice is trying out already again. It's quite late. I'm going to be updating this page and seeing if we have any new model runs. Let's hope we do. No, it doesn't look like we're having any new model runs. So we'll definitely just have to keep an eye on this. I'm going to see if the intensity guidance has updated yet. And no, it hasn't. So if you guys have any questions right now, I really urge you to ask them right now, since we kind of are running dry, since there really isn't much to report on that we are going to be streaming until landfall happens. So any questions, please ask them right now. Know exactly what happens. No comments yet. That's definitely an issue. No comments. We'll have to keep an eye on. Oh wait, we do. My voice is trying out already again. Sorry, I didn't see the comments. I was looking quite late. Here. I am so dumb. I'm going to be updating this page and seeing if we have any new model runs. Please, do you know if we will experience winds? No, it doesn't look like we're having any new model runs. About what wind should we expect? So we'll definitely just have to keep an eye on this. I'm going to see if the intensity guidance has updated yet. Yeah, Nano was really tiny. But yeah, I was tracking that storm too a while back. So I'm going to look up your town. Let's see, what did she say? Oh no, wrong thing. So, I'm going to be going back to the live stream. Any questions, please ask them right now. Know exactly what happens. No comments. That's definitely an issue. No comments. We'll have to keep an eye on. Oh wait, we do. My voice is trying out already again. Sorry, I didn't see the comments. I was looking quite late. Here. I am really so dumb. I'm going to be updating this page and seeing if we have any new model runs. Please, do you know if we will experience winds? No, it doesn't look like we're having any new model runs. So we'll definitely just have to keep an eye on this. I'm going to see if the intensity guidance has updated yet. Yeah, Nano was really tiny. But yeah, I was tracking that storm too a while back. So I'm going to look up your town. Let's see, what did she say? Oh no, wrong thing. So, I'm going to be going back to the live stream. Any questions, please ask them right now. Know exactly what happens. No comments. That's definitely an issue. We'll have to keep an eye on. Oh wait, we do. My voice is trying out already again. It's quite late. I am so dumb. I'm going to be updating this page and seeing if we have any new model runs. Please, do you know if we will experience winds? No, it doesn't look like we're having any new about a little bit of wind. So we'll definitely just have to keep an eye on this. I'm going to see if the intensity guidance has updated yet. Nano was really tiny. But yeah, I was tracking that storm too a while back. So I'm going to look up your town. Let's see, what did she say? Oh no, wrong thing.
So, I'm going to be going back to the live stream. Any questions, please ask them right now. Know exactly what happened. That's definitely an issue. We'll have to keep an eye on. Oh, wait, we do. My voice is burning out already. It's quite late. I am so dumb. I'm going to be updating this page and seeing if we have any more model runs. Please, do you know if we will experience again? No, it doesn't look like we have
this video. We're going to be getting back into the forecasting. So, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on this storm because it's supposed to be Category 5 on landfall. We don't have any new aircraft reconnaissance, but the old aircraft reconnaissance was showing pressure as low as 920 millibars and winds just around 125 knots, which is around 130 mile or 140 miles per hour. I'm so sorry. The track really hasn't changed much since we had the initial update. Let's take a look at the new key messages. That probably has updated. Catastrophic wind damage is expected where Ada's eyewall moves onshore along northeastern coast of Nicaragua tonight or early Tuesday. Tropical storm force winds are beginning to reach the coast within the hurricane warning area in Nicaragua, and residents there should have completed their preparations. Tropical storm warning is also in effect for the northeastern coast of Honduras. Catastrophic and life-threatening storm surge along with destructive waves are expected along portions of northeastern coast of Nicaragua, near and to the north of where the center makes landfall. Water levels could reach as high as 14 to 21 feet above normal tide levels in some parts of the hurricane warning area. Preparations to protect life and property should now be complete. Through Friday evening, heavy rainfall from Ada will likely lead to catastrophic, life-threatening flash flooding and river flooding across portions of Central America, along with landslides in areas of higher terrain. Flash flooding and river flooding is also possible across Jamaica, southeast Mexico, El Salvador, southern Haiti, and the Cayman Islands. So we don't really see any possible flooding for Belize, which is definitely a good thing. I would just expect some heavier rain for Belize. Possibly a little bit of a gusty wind. Really nothing very major for Belize, where that one viewer is watching. As you can see, really the most effects will be in for Nicaragua and parts of Honduras, where we could be seeing some very, very, very strong winds. As you can see, a hurricane warning is also in Honduras and parts of Honduras. So I'm going to be taking another drink of water. My throat is very dry. And, oh no, I just knocked over the water bottle. Not a good situation to be knocking over water bottles during live streams. Luckily, none of the water fell out on the carpet. So very, very close call there. Okay, really have to keep your throat going during these live streams, especially when it gets late. Especially for me, I usually lose my throat overnight. I usually just lose the ability to speak with any kind of normalcy without my voice being all croaky and, you know what I mean. Most people are probably like that. Let's go over the spaghetti models again and what we could be seeing as far as effects. So we're going to be seeing some models still taking it out over the Pacific Ocean. The more likely track is out over into the Caribbean once again, with possible landfall being in Cuba, and also we could be seeing a Gulf storm once again. So very, very a very, very bad situation. Also, we could possibly be seeing some effects in possibly Cancun, which is definitely not a good thing after they've just been hit with Delta a little while back, and then one model is taking it curved down a little further. I think that's quite unlikely as of now. If that were to happen, we'll have to keep an eye more on Jamaica. Jamaica should also keep an eye on this storm because it will be probably bringing some rain into Jamaica. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's go over and see what kind of rain could be expected for Jamaica if Jamaica were to experience any kind of effects from the storm. We're going to be going over that right now. Okay, so here's the model for Ada, and as you can see, definitely looking like we'll be seeing some heavy rain for Jamaica. So definitely some heavy rain, maybe some light breezy winds, nothing really major. So we're going to be going back into tropical tidbits, which I accidentally closed out. We're going to be going back to current storms. As you can see here, here's the octopus of the octopus of spaghetti models. Really looks like that right now. As you can see, mostly they're taking it all the way to Florida and Cuba. It's also not out of the question to see this storm go into the Gulf and then intensify quite a bit. We could be seeing it make a Category 2. Some models are making it a Category 2 back out over the Gulf. So definitely something we'll have to keep an eye on. Really, the worst case scenario is panned out with this storm, so send your thoughts and prayers, please, to the areas that are being affected as of now with Ada. So, if you're in the track line of this storm and you're watching this video, what are you going to expect? So you're going to be seeing landfall with a Category 4 hurricane, and then Ada will quickly, almost straight drop down into a Category 1, and then straight drop down into around Category 1, and then decrease down into a tropical storm and possibly re-strengthen just a little bit. So we could be seeing that as possible effects from the storm. And the models are quite wild right now. Still really no good idea. Let's take a look at the ocean analysis. This is one thing I've really forgot to do this entire video. So right in the area where Ada is, 29 degrees Celsius, water around 89 Fahrenheit. For a hurricane to form, we need at least 80 Fahrenheit water or above for formation. So definitely very, very warm waters right now. Perfect for hurricane development. As you can see, we have Category 4 Hurricane Ada, and once Ada recurves back out over the Caribbean, which is quite likely, we could be seeing some more effects, or we could be seeing some more intensification, because in that area around 30 degrees Celsius is what the temperature looks like, meaning very, very rapid intensification. And if Ada chooses to go, well, I don't know about chooses, but if Ada goes up into the Gulf, we could be seeing a little bit more intensification, but then once Ada gets closer to land, less intensification and some weakening, because take a look at this water starting to cool off and get a little unfavorable for those hurricanes. We're going to be seeing that trend continue throughout November. It's actually quite rare we're seeing Category 4 hurricane in November. Only 4 other storms since 1851 have made it Category 4 strength during the month of November. So a very, very rare situation we have right here. Winds are quite strong right around here where this weather station is. Man, my throat's really drying up on me. So we have around what looks maybe to be at least 30 miles per hour there. Pressure dropping quite a good bit where we'll be seeing landfall. Otherwise, that's about it in those areas. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at the satellite imagery again. Here's Ada. As you can see, still very much, still quite a bit of convection in it. Still looking quite strong, moving on into land. As you can see, the eye is going to be making soon. The eye wall is probably just starting to touch land. That'll be bringing those hurricane force winds onto land. So I suspect on the next update for the National Hurricane Center that we will be seeing those hurricane force winds move on to land. So those are quite close to land as of now. We're going to be seeing those move onto land. So I would expect these hurricane force winds that you can see are very, very close to Nicaragua. Those are going to be moving on probably within the next hour, and we'll definitely be seeing that on satellite imagery, or on the next update quite soon. Cone is still quite big. El Salvador and Guatemala are still not out of the picture for seeing the effects of this storm, and we're definitely going to be seeing some wind as far as El Salvador, and so it's looking like we'll be seeing the wind field of this storm expand quite a bit, as you can see. So we could be seeing some of the wind field expand. Whew, my throat is really drying out. So, any questions you may have, please comment them right now. I'm going to be checking on the live stream. Onto land, so I would expect these hurricane force winds that you can see are very, very close to Nicaragua. Those are going to be moving on probably within the next hour, and we'll definitely be seeing around 155. That was my estimate. That's why I have that up on the stream. Just wanted to let you know that we've been streaming for over, let's see here. Guatemala are still not out of the picture for seeing the effects of this storm. 70 minutes now, so over an hour we've been streaming. Quite awesome. We're going to keep going with this stream. I'm probably going to be taking a break in the next coming minutes because we really don't have much right now going on. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on what's it called? On Nicaragua and Honduras, as the storm is about to make landfall. So as you can see, very close to landfall. Category 5 is quite likely on landfall. Last wind gusts were recorded. Okay, we don't have any wind gust information. The last wind gusts were around 185 miles per hour. Let's see. Looks like we may have had another up. So at 7 p.m. So we don't have any information on the wind gusts right now, but we probably will quite soon. And what I want to pull up is the temperature and wind. So as you can see, really not much wind inland right now, but that weather model will weather station will probably be seeing some more winds later on, because that weather station in particular will be experiencing a Category 2 hurricane. So hopefully that weather station stays safe and sound. Definitely have to keep an eye on this storm as it moves across. Here is the let's move on into the satellite imagery. As you can see, still going very strong. And I'll be taking a break, and I'll be back at 1:35. So 1:35 I will be back. Please stay tuned, stay on the stream, ask any questions you may have, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. And I'm sorry, I keep going to the wrong thing. I'm gonna check for any questions. Really not much wind inland right now, but that weather model will weather station will probably be seeing some more winds later on, because that weather station in particular will be experiencing a Category 2 hurricane. So hopefully that weather station stays safe and sound. Definitely have to keep an eye on this storm as it moves across. Here is the let's move on into the satellite imagery. As you can see, still going very strong. And I'll be taking a break, and I'll be back at 1:35. So 1:35 I will be back. Please stay tuned, stay on the stream, ask any questions you may have, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. And I'm sorry, I keep going to the wrong thing. I'm gonna check for any questions. Really not much wind inland right now, but that weather model will weather station will probably be seeing some more winds later on, because that weather station in particular will be experiencing a Category 2 hurricane. So hopefully that weather station stays safe and sound. Definitely have to keep an eye on this storm as it moves across. Here is the let's move on into the satellite imagery. As you can see, still going very strong. And I'll be taking a break, and I'll be back at 1:35. So 1:35 I will be back. Please stay tuned, stay on the stream, ask any questions you may have,
and I will get to them as quickly as I can. And I'm sorry, I keep going to the wrong thing. I'm gonna check for any questions. Not much wind inland right now, but that questions. Weather model will weather station will probably be seeing some more winds later on, because that weather station in particular will be experiencing a Category 2 hurricane. So hopefully that weather station stays safe and sound. Definitely have to keep an eye on this storm as it moves across. Here is the. Let's move on into the. Satellite imagery. As you can see, still going very strong, and I'll be taking a break, and I'll be back at 1:35. So 1:35 I will be back. Please stay tuned, stay on the stream, ask any questions you may have, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. And I'm sorry, I keep going to the wrong thing. I'm gonna check for any questions. Not much wind inland right now, but that questions. Weather model will weather station will probably be seeing some more winds later on, because that weather station in particular will be experiencing a Category 2 hurricane. So hopefully that weather station stays safe and sound. Definitely have to keep an eye on this storm as it moves across. Here is the. Let's move on into the. Satellite imagery. As you can see, still going very strong, and I'll be taking a break, and I'll be back at 1:35. So 1:35 I will be back. Please stay tuned, stay on the stream, ask any questions you may have, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. And I'm sorry, I keep going to the wrong thing. I'm gonna check for any questions. Not much wind inland right now, but that questions. Weather model will weather station will probably be seeing some more winds later on, because that weather station in particular will be experiencing a Category 2 hurricane. So hopefully that weather station stays safe and sound. Definitely have to keep an eye on this storm as it moves across. Here is the. Let's move on into the. Satellite imagery. As you can see, still going very strong, and I'll be taking a break, and I'll be back at 1:35. So 1:35 I will be back. Please stay tuned, stay on the stream, ask any questions you may have, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. And I'm sorry, I keep going to the wrong thing. I'm gonna check for any questions. Not much wind inland right now, but that questions. Weather model will weather station will probably be seeing some more winds later on, because that weather station in particular will be experiencing a Category 2 hurricane. So hopefully that weather station stays safe and sound. Definitely have to keep an eye on this storm as it moves across. Here is the. Let's move on into the. Satellite imagery. As you can see, still going very strong, and I'll be taking a break, and I'll be back at 1:35. So 1:35 I will be back. Please stay tuned, stay on the stream, ask any questions you may have, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. And I'm sorry, I keep going to the wrong thing. I'm gonna check for any questions. Not much wind inland right now, but that questions. Weather model will weather station will probably be seeing some more winds later on, because that weather station in particular will be experiencing a Category 2 hurricane. So hopefully that weather station stays safe and sound. Definitely have to keep an eye on this storm as it moves across. Here is the. Let's move on into the. Satellite imagery. As you can see, still going very strong, and I'll be taking a break, and I'll be back at 1:35. So 1:35 I will be back. Please stay tuned, stay on the stream, ask any questions you may have, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. And I'm sorry, I keep going to the wrong thing. I'm gonna check for any questions. Not much wind inland right now, but that questions. Weather model will weather station will probably be seeing some more winds later on because that weather station in particular will be experiencing a Category 2 hurricane. So hopefully that weather station stays safe and sound. Definitely have to keep an eye on this storm as it moves across. Here is the, let's move on into the satellite imagery. As you can see, still going very strong. And I'll be taking a break, and I'll be back at 1:35. So 1:35, I will be back. Please stay tuned. Stay on the stream. Ask any questions you may have, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. And I'm sorry, I keep going to the wrong thing. I'm gonna check for any questions. Not much wind inland right now, but no questions. Weather model weather station will probably be seeing some more winds later on because that weather station in particular will be experiencing a Category 2 hurricane. So hopefully that weather station stays safe and sound. Definitely have to keep an eye on this storm as it moves across.
Again, so we are back. We're going to be taking another look at Ada. We're going to be refreshing the page. Hopefully,
imagery as you can see, still going very strong. And I'll be taking a break, and I'll be back at 1:35. So 1:35, I will be back. Please stay tuned. Stay on the stream. Ask any questions you may have, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. And I'm sorry, I keep going to the wrong thing.
No signs
check for
yet
any questions.
at all.
Not much wind inland right now, but no questions. Weather model weather station will probably be seeing some more winds later on because
that still isn't out of the possibilities with the storm that is strengthening so extremely rapid. To show you how rapid
Ada on this storm as it moves across.
So again, so this is our back. We're going to be taking another look at Ada. We're going to be at 1 a.m. Category 3. Hopefully, and by
still going very strong.
wait,
And I'll be taking a break, and I'll be back
by 7 a.m. this morning, Category 1.
1:35. So 1:35, I will be back. Please stay tuned. Stay on the stream. Ask any questions you may have.
Very, very rapid strengthening. Look at that perfect storm. And if you have any questions, please come in right now. Because I all of the answer in that one place right now. Looks like nobody has any comments or any questions. But if you have any questions right now, please feel free to ask them, and I will be answering those periodically throughout the stream. We're going to be seeing if I'm hoping we're going to be starting to get faster updates soon because we are so close to landfall, and I'll also be checking the aircraft recon. Hopefully we're going to be seeing some of that soon. Based on the fact that we do have pressure of 923 millibars right now, I would expect further intensification with Ada. So let's take a look. Oh man, I keep going to the wrong thing. I'm going to move this here. Okay, so now let's take a look at the aircraft recon. Hopefully we have started another mission, and no, we haven't. This is really perplexing to me because we haven't had an aircraft recon mission for quite some time right now, and that's definitely not probably going to happen for the next couple of minutes, probably for the next couple of hours. So let's take a look at the HWRF, see if it has updated any bit yet. So HWRF P or HWRF. Still taking it. Still thinking it'll get down to 924 millibars. It's already at 923. So we'll definitely have to see what the HWRF thinks once it gets to that. HWRF still thinks it's going to weaken a bit before landfall and then be a tropical storm around the border of Honduras and Nicaragua. Then we're going to be seeing we're just going to be seeing a wild bunch of tootling. And now the HWRF is actually showing possibility of Ada going out into the Pacific. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. Let's go to the HWRF P, see what that model is showing. I'm going to be going over the hurricane models right now. They definitely seem to be a little more accurate. The HWRF is probably the most accurate out of all of these. HWRF P hasn't changed very much. Still basically showing the same rough track. Let's take a look at the HMON, and I'm guessing that we're not going to be seeing much difference of the HMON either. So HMON is taking Eta in with 926 millibars, weakening a slight bit before landfall. Probably, that's probably quite likely. Still the same trend, just a slight bit weakening for before landfall. And the reason we could be seeing a little bit of weakening is because the rapid intensification could, one, either be causing Eta to weaken because of an eye wall replacement, two, getting close to land, starting to suck in dry air. I think the more likely is we could see this start to see a slight eye wall replacement, because we have seen that happen with the other storms. Still, we may not see that happen still. I just want to put that out there. And also we're going to be seeing Eta still travel down a bit, so still a little bit more time over water, meaning we could either see some weakening or some more strengthening. And that's something we'll definitely have to keep an eye on with Eta, as Eta is moving on its track towards landfall. Let's see if we have had any updates in our track line. Still no updates as of now. Very slow going. This is being a very stubborn storm as far as as long as I've been tracking these storms on YouTube for about 2 months. This has been the most stubborn storm. We just really haven't went anywhere. We haven't had any good updates really in the last couple hours. We haven't had any. Is it strengthening more? We've had a little bit of signs that it is, and we really haven't had any weakening signs. We've really just haven't had any kind of leads on what really is happening, and the storm really is moving so slow that we haven't really seen it move on land any. It is moving at 6 miles per hour, just a little bit above of what it was moving. Winds are gusting at 185 miles per hour, so very, very strong right now. Pressure is 27.26 or around 934 millibars. This hasn't updated. As you can see, this is a little bit outdated right now. The National Hurricane Center has pressure of 923 millibars, so very, very low. I believe that is Category 5 strength, which I'm going to look up right now. Let's see what is so hurricane. I'm sorry. We're going to be seeing pressure to hurricane strength. I'm going to be taking a look at this. So let's see. 920 to 944 is Category 4 strength. So we could be seeing a possible Category 5 of 155 miles per hour plus soon, since we are seeing that pressure drop, and we were getting some readings of around 920 millibars earlier on the aircraft recon. We were getting earlier readings of that very low winds. For some reason, we aren't seeing any updates in the aircraft recon right now, so I'm going to go see if I can find a website that shows any aircraft recon, because that's really something we need to keep an eye on right now. So, okay, good. We may be able to get some of the recon here, or not. So right now we don't have any aircraft recon missions, which is definitely just leaving us live recon, which is definitely leaving us just in the blank. I still can't find anything, even on the National Hurricane Center website. So it's looking like we don't have any recon right now, which is definitely not a promising sign as far as being able to track this. As you can see, we did have some very low pressures. Sadly, this isn't showing any of the pressures. We had some very high winds in some spots around 137 knots, which is probably around 160 miles per hour, so some very, very strong winds. Sustained winds was around 130 or 125 knots, around 145 miles per hour. So still just roughly around 150 miles per hour still. Let's take a look at the wind speed probabilities. We're going to be seeing a 90% chance of winds of a tropical storm force or more for a good bit of Nicaragua and Honduras. I would expect tropical storm force winds to extend around this far down into Nicaragua. That's probably quite likely we'll be seeing those tropical storm force winds in those areas. Really, if you're in Belize, wind speed probabilities are not very likely for tropical storm force winds. Like I thought, maybe tropical depression winds, probably around 25, maybe to 30 miles per hour if you're lucky. Yeah. And we're probably going to be seeing the wind field of this storm expand just a little bit as it makes landfall. Let's take a look at that wind field as of now. Wind history has been expanding just a little bit. The hurricane force winds really haven't expanded much. As you can see, the tropical storm force winds have. So we still have to keep an eye on the tropical storm force winds too, because those definitely do cause plenty of effects, as we saw with Zeta, Zeta that just moved through. Trees were downed in as far as Georgia, so and that was only tropical storm force winds. So as you can see, tropical storm force winds definitely cause quite a bit of widespread damage. And I'm going to be going over comments right now, so if you have any comments or questions, please comment them right now. And I'm getting into the stream to answer. The wind field of this storm expand just a little bit as it makes landfall. Let's take a look at that wind field as of now. Wind history has been expanded. I will definitely be keeping you guys updated. We're definitely waiting for that 3 a.m. update. So 3 a.m. in the morning is the next update. Definitely quite a bit away from now, but that'll be around when we'll be seeing landfall. We'll be seeing near landfall around that time. Let's see if the satellite imagery has updated. No, it hasn't. So we're definitely going to be watching this in the next couple of hours. So my forecast is probably, I think we'll see it move right around down there as well. We'll see landfall, and then it'll probably curve up. And definitely see some strong winds. I would expect tropical storm force winds right now gusting probably into the 60s, and I would expect hurricane force winds to move on in around probably in the next hour. We'll be seeing hurricane force winds move on in. They're probably already moving in around now, so maybe gusting up to hurricane force. I would expect the strongest of the hurricane force winds to move on in the next couple of hours, and I would expect the tropical storm force winds to move a little more inland for areas where we'll be seeing landfall, which is Puerto Cabezas. I would expect winds of 100 and I would expect winds of 145 to 150 sustained, gusting up into the 170s, possibly even up into the 180s, which is a little higher than what I had previously expected. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on this. I'm hoping that the National Hurricane Center will start doing updates every hour, so maybe we'll have an update coming up in the next couple of minutes. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. Stay tuned for that. Hopefully that will happen, so we don't so we're not on the so we're not left guessing what's going to happen. Still moving at 6 miles per hour, very, very slow storm. We're going to be seeing definitely a lot of rainfall with this storm. Let's take a look at let's take a look at the models. We're going to be going to the global models, and one model I haven't shown yet is the CMC model. We'll be seeing what that model is forecasting right now. So let's take a look at the models, which is definitely a really important thing. CMC is taking landfall in the areas where all models are taking landfall, and we're going to be seeing possible re-strengthening over water landfall in Florida, and then recurve back out over North Florida and into the Carolinas. So we'll need to keep an eye on the Carolinas. So anywhere that could be seeing this is a very slight chance of seeing the effects of Zeta. So for a slight chance of seeing the effects of Zeta would be the Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina and Georgia, and possibly around here. More moderate effects of seeing Zeta would be North Florida and parts of west coast of Florida, and likely effects of Zeta would definitely be South Florida and the panhandle of Florida, and also likely effects for Cuba. That's what we're seeing based on the CMC model and other models combined as far as effects as of now. That's what we're seeing. And let's see if we have any aircraft recon now that we went over the models. Hopefully we are getting some more aircraft recon soon. Come on, aircraft recon. No more recon missions. What is going on here? We don't have any more aircraft recon missions, which is really actually quite sad. I'm going to be updating the page. No, I don't think we have any more updates. Hopefully we get another one in the next hour, but I don't think we'll be seeing another update until the aircraft recon goes back out over water, and that'll probably be within the next hour, because we'll have to get that aircraft recon out there if we want any kind of accurate wind measurements or any kind of pressure measurements on Zeta. Just had to get some water there. Really takes a toll on you going over an hour of live streaming. I'm starting to get really tired because it's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning, and just really tired, really worn out in the voice. Probably gonna go down and eat soon, but don't worry, I'm staying until around 2 a.m. in the morning, and I will be taking another short break, waiting again for that 3 a.m. update. We're gonna keep updating the National Hurricane Center website in hopes that we'll be getting another update in the next hour. If you have any questions, please ask them right now. I'm going into the stream to
if we want any
questions.
kind of accurate wind measurements or any kind of pressure measurements on Zeta.
Still, thank you for staying tuned and watching and liking this video.
Just had to get some water there.
Appreciative to me that you've been on here for the extended amount of time we've been on. We've been streaming for, I'm not sure how long we've been on for. We've been on for a very long time, so just thank you for staying tuned during this very, very long wait for landfall, which we're going to be seeing in the next couple of hours. Right now we have no update yet, but I'll keep you updated on what the storm is doing. Let's hope that we have a new little bit of satellite imagery to look at, because that's also really important right now, is taking a look at the satellite imagery and whatnot. The intensity guidance hasn't updated at all. I don't know if I've really ever seen such slow amount of updating. Still, same story. We could be seeing, we'll be seeing fast weakening, possibly Category 5, which is what the National Hurricane Center is predicting, and battery is running low on the computer, so we'll have to get that charged. These models really haven't updated for quite some time, I don't think. Either that or they're staying the same, and some of them are just kind of being really silly. How is the storm going to remain Category 4 on landfall? I don't know if that's even possible. I mean, nothing's impossible, but some of these models are looking quite funny. This is really quite annoying that we don't have any definite information. So still some models taking it out overseas, and most of them taking it out over into the Caribbean. Just a sec, guys. I'm going to be plugging in my computer so it doesn't die while I am streaming. So I will be back in just like a couple of seconds. So stay tuned. We're going to be going on live streaming. Okay, and computer is plugged in 3, 2, 1, plugged in. Okay, computer's not going to die on us. We're going to keep it charging for now as we are waiting for hopefully an update within the next hour. I'm really hoping for that. I'm hoping they start, the National Hurricane Center starts doing once an hour updates, but I don't think they will. We just really need to keep an eye on this because I'm hoping for an update, because that'll really be important to see if we do have a Category 5 on our hands yet or not. I don't think we'll have an update because there's no aircraft recon that I know of. This page is supposed to update every 10 minutes when a mission is ongoing, so it doesn't seem like we have any missions, which is actually quite strange. And the last time this page updated, the plane was here, so it's looking like we really don't have much information. Shockingly, I don't know if I've ever really seen this kind of lack of information. Usually we see the airplanes. Usually this page keeps updating until they move off, but we really don't seem to have that much information. The plane did go through the eye a couple times, but I'm shocked that we don't have another plane going out as of now, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully the aircraft reconnaissance will be going out again quite soon. It's 10:50. Still, I don't think we have any updates, so no updates yet, sadly. I'll be on here until 2 a.m. and then I'm going to be taking another break to go get some food because I'm starting to get really hungry. For now, we're going to be going over the forecast models. Let's take a look at the hurricane, and we're going to be going to GFS. So, here's what GFS is showing as far as hurricane. 958 millibars on landfall, which is probably not accurate right now, reforming over land and possibly causing some trouble for Florida and Cuba and Mexico. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. This is definitely a new track for the GFS, that we could be seeing a depression move over Mexico, which would bring some blustery winds and definitely some heavy rain in an area that's already been hit by Delta. So definitely not a good case scenario. Definitely going to be seeing some strong winds in Puerto Cabezas, where we're going to be seeing landfall from Eta, which, by the way, I believe has we've never had this name before. We are still tied with 2005. The name Eta just hasn't been used yet, so we have Eta, so that's quite awesome. If you think about it, we have Hurricane Eta. So, what do you think Eta is going to be doing? Comment that down below right now, and I'll be responding at 1:53. So, about a minute from now, I'll be responding. I'll be looking in the comments. Hopefully you guys respond so we can interact a bit before we hopefully have an hour update every hour. Still, I don't think that's going to happen. Just hold up hope that that's going to happen, so we have more of an idea what this storm is going to do. So we'll definitely be waiting for that. At 11:53, I'll be checking comments. Even if you have any questions, comment those. But if you have any predictions about Eta yourself, comment them. And I'll be back I'll be on at 11:53 looking at those comments 10:50. Excuse me. 1:53 looking at those comments, which is right now. So we're going to be taking a look at those comments. They're at 1:53. So about a minute from now, I'll be responding. I'll be looking in the comments. Hopefully you guys respond so we can interact a bit before we hopefully have an hour update every hour. Still, I don't think we're getting quite close to landfall. Here, let's take a look at the satellite imagery. Very, very close to landfall, as you can see. We're going to be seeing landfall probably within the next hour. As you can see, the satellite imagery is a little finicky right now, but I want to go to the true color zoomed out. We're going to be seeing, take a look at this, just Eta being absolutely perfect. Just look at that, perfect eye. This is what you see in the strongest of strong storms. This is probably by now the second strongest storm behind Laura, so we could be, and if this storm strengthens to Category 5 like predicted by the National Hurricane Center, this will be the strongest hurricane of the 2020 season, which is quite a big record. As you can see, we've had so many major hurricanes this year, and it's looking, and this one is another one of those major hurricanes. We'll definitely have to keep tracking this, and we'll be staying tuned, hoping that we could have another update in the next hour. Just had to get more water in the system. Definitely, oh boy. Definitely getting dry throat as of now. I'm going to go back to the National Hurricane Center website, see if it is updated any. Let's hold out hope it has no update yet. So hopefully at 2 a.m. in the morning I'm going to be checking on that, and hopefully we'll have updates every hour since landfall is coming close. I don't know if they update every hour once landfall in the U.S. is close. I'm not sure. But look at this. Newest track lines are out. So let's go over the newest track lines. As you can see, still some models going out over to the Pacific Ocean. Most of the models are now going into Belize, it's looking like, and then back out over into the Caribbean. And some models are bringing Ada into Cuba, and some are bringing it up into Florida and into the Gulf. The one model that was bringing Ada more into the Gulf right around here has now shifted just a little more towards Florida. So definitely Florida right now, I would actually put a tropical weather watch on Florida and Cuba as of now. Really seeing these models remain consistent over the past couple of days. Let's check on the octopus spaghetti models, as I call it, because it looked like an octopus. Now it doesn't look like an octopus as much anymore. Still, we're going to be seeing some models are predicting around 980 millibars out over seawater, which is a Category 1 hurricane. As you can see, we'll definitely be seeing some strengthening over the Caribbean and over the Gulf, and possibly even into the Atlantic. So we're going to have to keep an eye on Ada, as it is going to be moving into those areas. And newest intensity guidance is also in. Most models are not bringing it to a Category 5, so we may not see a Category 5. We're going to be seeing Ada remain, or rapidly de-intensify, because landfall is coming quite close. Then we're going to be seeing Ada possibly re-intensify just a little bit over land. So I'm hoping, because this new information is in, that we will be getting an update quite soon from the National Hurricane Center. That is the latest tracks. Here's the other models, and as you can see, a good bit of them are taking it into Florida, either in either in the Panhandle or into the direct point of Florida, kind of like the boot of Italy. And definitely we're going to be seeing a tropical storm more than likely out of Ada as it moves on into the Caribbean Sea. And the reason we're going to be seeing such quick intensification, and also the reason we're going to be seeing re-intensification, is because, take a look at this. Here's the ocean analysis. As you can see, 29 degrees Celsius in the area where Ada is right now. So very warm waters once Ada moves off of land, possibly even 30 degrees Celsius. So just perfect ingredients for a very strong hurricane. Again, 80 Fahrenheit water can make a hurricane. So think about that. That's around 80, 90 degree water. So very, very conducive for hurricane development. So let's take a look at the National Hurricane Center. Hopefully we have an update. No, we don't have an update. Very sadly, I don't think we have an update, but luckily we do have new information. Hopefully the satellite imagery has updated also, which it doesn't look like it has. So still moving very close into landfall. I would still expect some very strong winds, and I would expect the tropical storm winds to keep moving inland. Any questions you may have, please I'm getting dry in the throat. Please comment them down below, and I'll be answering them right now. Strong hurricane. Again, 80 okay.
Fahrenheit water can make a hurricane. So think about that. That's around 80, 90 degree water. So very, very conducive for hurricane development. So let's take a look at the National Hurricane Center. Hopefully we have an update.
I definitely do agree.
No, we don't have an update. Very sadly, I don't think we have an update, but luckily we do have new information. Hopefully the satellite imagery has updated also, which it doesn't look like it has.
Very nice on satellite imagery, And if I'm going to bring you back to that satellite imagery, and as you can see, look at that, just looking very strong. We're going to go to the true color. Oops, wrong thing. True color, because this really shows what it actually looks like from the satellites that are taking the images of the of Ada. So as you can see, very, very nice compact storm, showing no signs of weakening at all. Just waiting for that 3 o'clock update that we're going to be seeing hopefully very soon. It's looking like National Hurricane Center isn't updating every hour, so that is quite sad. The tropical storm force winds are going to be moving on to land, and I do expect that hurricane force winds are already moving on into land. That'll probably be shown in the next update on the wind field by the National Hurricane Center. Let's go to that wind field right as of now and see if they've updated. No update, but let's take a look at that wind field. As you can see, tropical storm force winds are moving on into land, but I would expect some hurricane force winds have already started just a little bit to move on into land. I don't know if anybody who has just joined was able to see the new spaghetti model, so I'm going to go over those quickly once again. As you can see, most are taking it over into the Caribbean once again. Some are still taking it out into the Pacific, still a variable possibility. Most are taking it out over into the Caribbean right now. I would expect some effects for Guatemala and Belize. Belize is looking like it could see some more effects now because more models are shifting in towards Belize, and I would definitely expect Cuba to be seeing the effects of this storm. Any more comments and questions you have, I'm going to be joining back into the stream to answer all those right. Tropical storm force winds are moving on into land, but I would expect some hurricane force winds have already started just a little bit to move on into land. Back at 2:20 in the morning, I'm going to be taking that break because I need to go get something to eat. I mean, I'm a weather reporter, or a weatherman, and I have to have something to eat and drink. I'll be back really soon. Please stay tuned, and please keep an eye on this satellite imagery. I'm going to be keeping this up for you, and I will be back at 2:20. So stay on the stream if you want to, or come back at 2:20. I'm going to go get some to eat, and I'm going to go get some more stuff to drink, and I will be back. And then by then, we'll be on the road to seeing the 3 o'clock update, so that'll be coming soon when I come back. Thank you for watching so far. Again, back at 2:20. Okay, so I'm gonna come back a few minutes early. Just had a fruit smoothie, which is really good. Definitely restored my throat back to what it was, and it also gave me back a little more energy. So, I'm coming back 10 minutes early. We're around 50 minutes from... excuse me, I'm gonna go get my dog, so I guess we will do 2:20. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to feed my dog. What other dogs bark at 2:13 in the morning to get food? He is always hungry, and we feed him good. He's so small, we don't have to feed him much, but we feed him good. He's fat, and he's always hungry, Okay, so we're gonna be back to the weather. Right now, as you can see, we're getting close to landfall. Hurricane Ada is still looking quite well. This is the latest satellite imagery, as you can see, looking very, very nice. The latest models are still trending towards a recurve back out into the Caribbean Ocean of Ada. Let me catch my breath, sorry. And also some are possibly supporting a curve out to the Pacific, which is actually quite unlikely at this moment, I do believe. Most intensity guidance isn't showing category 4, category 5 anymore. Most are showing sharp drop and possible re-strengthening over water, and some are just being kind of weird, floating around category 4 strength. Some of those models probably don't take Ada into land, so a very strange model sometimes, and some models are even predicting to see pressure in Ada drop down again after a re-strengthening over water to around 990 to 980, maybe down to 970 millibars, which would be around category 1 hurricane strength. So definitely something we should keep an eye on. So there's the tracks. Okay, now we're gonna go to the National Weather Service, and I'm gonna give you a little rundown of what they're showing. We're getting quite close to the next update, which is gonna be in about 45 minutes from now. So we're on the countdown to the next update, which is at 3 o'clock, I do believe. So as you can see, tropical storm force winds are starting to move on land. I do believe we are probably starting to see some of the hurricane force winds move on land in some parts. of Nicaragua. That's probably quite likely based on the satellite imagery that we have been watching. There is a hurricane warning and a few other watches, which I'll go over right now in those areas. So, here's what we're seeing. And, okay. So, I'm going to try to position this as well as possible. Okay, so you can see there's a hurricane warning in Nicaragua and Honduras. There's tropical storm warning, it looks like, in parts of Honduras, and a tropical storm watch up in other parts of Honduras, where the storm could be leaving and then re-strengthening back into that tropical storm strength. Here's the official track line. As you can see on that recurve, it's likely we will be now seeing a tropical storm once Ada recurves back out over water. So that's definitely something to watch, because we'll have to watch areas in Cuba, Jamaica, and up in Florida. So all those areas should keep an eye on this system. Definitely keep a close eye on this system, especially southern Florida, because it's looking quite likely we could be seeing landfall in really any of these areas, even around here. So basically anywhere in this general area, all these places should keep an eye on it, except, well, Haiti, yeah. Haiti should keep an eye on it because of the rain. So all those places should keep an eye on Ada. Now, if you have any questions about Ada and you want me to answer them, please comment them down below. I'm going to be answering right now. So we're going to go into the live stream.
Likely we will be now seeing a tropical storm once Ada recurves back out over water.
Right now,
so that's definitely something to watch, because we'll have to watch areas in Cuba, Jamaica, and up in Florida.
Okay. Now we're going to be... Oh boy, stupid dad. Okay, now we're going to still be going over the forecast models. I want to go to satellite imagery just to show you why I think hurricane force winds are starting to move on land. I want to do this first before we go over the models. The reason I think we're seeing those hurricane force winds move on land, see, that's the just the outer band, so it looks like we could be seeing the minimal hurricane force winds just starting to reach land. Let's go over the forecast models right now. I'm hoping they have updated a bit. Some of them have. I'm not sure if all of them have. So let's go to regions, and we're going to go to the North Atlantic. Okay, so let's take a look at the GFS. The GFS is taking landfall in in Nicaragua, and then tootling around, going up and making landfall in Louisiana. So Louisiana should probably keep an eye on this storm if it does go into the Gulf. That's definitely an important thing. So GFS is showing another Louisiana landfall. How many landfalls can you get in a year, Louisiana? I mean, seriously. So we could be seeing a landfall in the same area where Laura made landfall, and they're still recovering from Laura, Zeta, all in those areas. So very bad if we get another system going there. That's worst case scenario. We could also be seeing effects in Florida. Here's the ECMWF or Euro model showing possibly Florida and then out into the Gulf, where we could be seeing some further intensification. The Euro has changed quite a bit since last update, and I'll go over that right now. The Euro was showing some very large intensification to happen right here. Now it's showing more intensification to happen over into the Gulf, which is probably more likely. We could be seeing landfall up into the Florida Panhandle, maybe Louisiana, maybe Biloxi, Alabama, Mississippi also should keep an eye on that. Or Biloxi, Mississippi, I'm sorry. So basically the same areas we've been hearing about all this year. Biloxi, possibly New Orleans could be feeling the effects if this scenario does pan out. So definitely we need to keep an eye on this, because all these places we've been hearing about all year, Biloxi, Alabama, Mississippi, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, all these places are looking like they could be seeing the effects or even a direct landfall of Ada. So So let's go over the CMC model right now. I'm going to try to go over all the models right now, show you exactly what they're doing, all the models that are on this website. So CMC takes landfall. We're going to be seeing it. One thing I forgot to mention in this video is it's going to be moving very, very slow over land. So it'll be almost at a snail's pace. It'll be moving across land, basically dumping tons of rain in those areas and bringing landslides into the more mountainous regions. So here's what the CMC is showing. Landfall in Florida and sort of right up the coast and then out over water. Landfall in Florida again and then up to the Carolinas. Let's move on down to the NAVGEM. I'm sorry. That was embarrassing. Okay, so the NAVGEM is showing that we could be seeing some reformation and possibly we could be seeing also in the Atlantic Ada move on into the Atlantic, which means we would need to keep an eye on South Carolina. So I do think South Carolina, North Carolina are at a more likely chance of seeing Ada make landfall, and I also think that it's quite likely on the western side of Florida we could be seeing landfall. It's very likely down south Florida that we could be seeing landfall. Also up into Panama City, it's quite likely we could be seeing landfall, and it's possible we could be seeing landfall in Louisiana. It's also very, very likely that we'll be seeing some landfall and effects down into Cuba. So we'll have to keep... Whoa. Okay. We'll have to keep an eye on that down for Cuba and Jamaica also. Could all be seeing effects of Ada. Now let's move on to the next model. So that was NAVGEM next icon model, which I personally like. I don't know how accurate it is, but I feel like it's quite accurate based on me using it. As you can see, again, possibly North Florida landfall, possibly seeing Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. So based on that, I'd almost say it's quite likely we could be seeing some effects up on the Carolinas too. So quite likely we could be seeing that, and it's also becoming more and more likely we could be seeing landfall or some effects in these areas. So it's becoming quite likely around November 10th that Florida will be seeing the effects of this system. When will Cuba be seeing the effects or landfall of this system? Probably in the next couple of days, around November 7th. So around a week from now, we could be seeing that. Let's move on to the JMA model, which is a quite short-term model, but it's showing really just a stalling of Ada over land. Now, the one model we haven't gone to yet is the GFS Para model. So we're going to go over that right now. So GFS Para has a landfall in Nicaragua, recurving up into Florida and up into the Florida Panhandle, also crossing over into the Carolinas. So it's definitely, so as far as the effects go, even if there's no landfall in these certain areas, effects will include Florida Panhandle, Cuba, Jamaica, North Florida, Carolinas, and Georgia. All these places will likely be seeing effects, even if it's just rain, of Ada. So that's quite likely we'll be seeing that as of now. I would expect, really, I can't expect any kind of winds as of now because it's still too early to forecast those winds for that area. Let's see if we have any more updates. I'm gonna reload the page. And it's looking like we don't have any more updates as of now. If you have any questions, please comment them down below, and I'll be looking at your questions just after we go to the National Hurricane Center page and refresh it, even though I don't think there's any kind of an update. See, no update, but here's what we've been seeing, and I'll go over this key messages once again after I answer the comments, if there is any. China's, Georgia, so
all these places will likely be seeing effects,
right now. Thank you for
even
watching,
if it's just
if
rain of Ada. So that's quite likely we'll be seeing that as of now. I would expect, really, I can't expect any kind of winds as of now because it's still too early to forecast.
Okay, now back to the weather. We're counting down the time until we're going to be seeing landfall of Eta. So about, it's looking like about 35 minutes from now we'll be seeing, or not landfall, I'm sorry, 35 minutes from now is when we're going to be seeing the next update. And I believe on that next update we're going to be seeing nearly a landfall, and we may have a Category 5. As you can see, it's predicted as to be a Category 5 on landfall. So, here's the key messages for Hurricane Eta. This is probably the most important thing to listen to out of the entire video. Catastrophic wind damage is expected where Eta's eyewall moves on shore along the northeastern coast of Nicaragua tonight or early Tuesday. Tropical storm force winds are beginning to reach the coast within the hurricane warning area in Nicaragua, and residents there should have completed their preparations. A tropical storm warning is also in effect for the northeastern coast of Honduras. Catastrophic and life-threatening storm surge along with destructive waves are expected along portions of northeastern coast of Nicaragua near and to the north of where the center makes landfall. Water levels could reach as high as 14, listen to this, 14 to 21 feet above normal tide levels, in some parts of the hurricane warning area. Preparations to protect life and property should now be complete. Through Friday evening, heavy rainfall from Eta will likely lead to catastrophic, life-threatening flash flooding and river flooding across portions of Central America, along with landslides in areas of higher terrain. Flash and river flooding also possible across Jamaica, southeast Mexico, El Salvador, southern Haiti, and the Cayman Islands. So, since we've heard that the storm surge is really going to be bad, where do I expect the worst of this storm surge to be? Well, I'm going to go to the forecast models to really show you this. And the HMON model, I think, is the best model to really show you what we could be seeing as far as where the... Oh, no. Okay, so I'm going to go to the H-Wharf first, and I think I know how I can get that. No, I need to go to H-Wharf P. Excuse me on this. Okay, there we go. Now we get the wind barbs, and I can show you guys exactly what we're going to be seeing. So, as you can see, we're going to be seeing a little bit of strengthening, and then on landfall, where will we be seeing the most of that storm surge? Please don't quote me on this, and look to your local weather services for official information if you live in these areas. But I believe the wind is likely going to be pushing that water on land, so where the water will be pushed in by the wind is likely right around here. So right around here is where we'll see that strongest storm surge. Then we won't see as much over here because the water will be being pushed this way by the winds being pushed this way. That is what I believe will happen. I may not be 100% correct, but I do believe right around here is where we'll be seeing the strongest of that storm surge because the wind is going to be pushing that water on land. If you have any questions about that storm surge, please comment down below right now, and I'll be getting to those comments quite soon. My back is starting to hurt from hunching over, so I'm going to pull the computer up to me. It's quite hilarious listening to somebody do forecasts for extended periods of time because it really eventually becomes hard repeating the same thing over and over. And also just really getting tired. So, yeah, so I think I'm going to answer the comments now if there are any. Over here because the water will be being pushed this way by the winds being pushed this way. That is what I believe will happen. I may not be 100% correct, but I do believe right around here is where we'll be seeing the strongest of that storm surge because the wind is going to be pushing that water on land. If you have any questions about that storm surge, please comment down below right now, and I'll be getting to those comments quite soon. That's all I can say. My back is starting to hurt from hunching over, so I'm going to pull the computer up to me. It's quite hilarious listening to somebody. Yep, that's all we can say. Thank you for commenting, and please keep commenting if you have any questions. We'll be definitely working on updating you guys. So that is crazy. We're seeing 30 miles from landfall. That means we'll be seeing landfall within the hour. Let's take a look at the satellite imagery, see if it is updated. No, it has not updated. Still, we're seeing it move on to getting quite close to coast. As you can see, very, very nice looking eye walls. Still very, very good looking. The eye hasn't shown any signs at all of weakening, so it's likely we will not see any weakening or any eye wall replacement before landfall. I was predicting an eye wall replacement before landfall, but that is completely out of the picture by now. Completely out of the picture. So I think we'll just be seeing the full force of this thing make landfall. So where we're going to be seeing landfall, let me pull up this, and I'll show you the exact town where we're going to be seeing landfall, or city, excuse me. I'll be showing you that, and I'll also be giving my predictions for what the weather will be like in that area. So let's go into, let's turn on the tracks for Ada. As you can see, we're going to be seeing likely landfall as a Category 5. We're getting really close to landfall. Winds right now are 150 miles per hour, gusting to 180. And look at this. Puerto Cabezas is going to be seeing the worst of this storm. Likely, possibly some storm surge too. As you can see, basically the eye wall will be passing over this area, and sadly, the eye won't pass over, meaning there will be no break for the people who live in this area right here. Basically, they'll just be getting the full force of this entire storm the entire time it moves through. So I would expect wind sustained if it does make landfall as a Category 5 in this area. I would expect wind sustained to be around 140 to 150, gusting into the 170s and possibly 180, so just complete destruction if you can. And I would suggest, please, if you are in that area and haven't evacuated, please hunker down. You just do not want to mess with this storm. It's going to be bad. It's probably not going to be like the other storms that have been failed in predictions this year. It's probably most likely going to be quite bad. Let's go over what the National Hurricane Center is saying once again. Let's take a look at the chances for tropical storm force winds. As you can see, 90% chance extending into Nicaragua, and I would expect tropical storm force winds extending quite far. Not as far as that squiggly line goes, but around that far is where I would expect the tropical storm force winds, and I'm so sorry for messing that up. Here's the arrival times of winds. Already arriving, I would expect the hurricane force winds to start arriving now, based on what that person in the comments said, based on the fact that the storm is only 30 miles away from land. That would mean the hurricane force winds are definitely already arriving. Around Tuesday, 8 a.m., we could be seeing some more winds arrive in Honduras. And Tuesday, 8 p.m., we could be seeing El Salvador also getting those winds. And by Wednesday, 8 a.m., it's looking like Guatemala and Belize could be experiencing the winds. Right now, winds from Ada are already being experienced on land. Excuse me. Wow. Really having a dry throat tonight. Here's the official track for Ada, and as you can see, here's the 3-day forecast. We're going to be seeing in the next 3 days major hurricane landfall in Mexico, and that's quite likely. And then we're going to be seeing Ada slowly move through land, moving up to Guatemala in the next 3 days. And because of the slow movement, definitely we'll be expecting some very, very heavy rain for these areas, and flooding is quite likely in areas where there is higher terrain. Landslides are also possible. In the next 5 days, we'll be seeing Ada move off into the Caribbean Sea, once again re-strengthening back into a tropical storm. So basically, we're watching the worst case scenario pan out with Ada here, as it is moving back out over water again. So, whew, crazy storm. Crazy 2020 season, really. Here's the wind history for Ada. Let me pull that up. Wind history for Ada. Hurricane force winds are probably already on land. That'll probably be what we'll be seeing with the next update from the National Hurricane Center, which should be in the next couple of minutes. We are around 25 minutes away from seeing when that next update is. So if you guys have any questions, please ask them now. I'm going to be going into the comments and checking once again. 5 days, we'll be seeing
Ada move off into the Caribbean Sea, once again re-strengthening back into a tropical storm. So basically, we're watching the worst case scenario.
Updating you even more. So let's get back to what we've been doing. Let's update this website, see if we have any more updates. Doesn't look like we have any more updates. Tracks are roughly the same. I do think this model has changed a slight bit from the last time I looked. So it looks like we could be seeing this kind of funky recurve. I don't think that is a very likely thing to happen. That's what some models are showing, so a very strange outcome. It's looking like most models are now bringing Ada to make landfall, basically tonight. I'm sorry, I'm just a little tired. And then curving out over ocean, making landfall likely again in Cuba and possibly posing a threat for Florida. So that's definitely something we'll be watching and continue to keep watching tonight, eventually until Ada makes landfall. That will be when the stream ends. So ending the stream after landfall, and we'll give some final predictions. Let's see if we have some aircraft recon yet. And still, no aircraft recon. This is almost shocking to me. Did they not run aircraft recon at night? How are we going to get an accurate update? A completely accurate update without the aircraft recon? Oh, wait. They don't need aircraft recon. I'm sorry, I messed up. They have buoys, that's right. So yes, on land buoys or whatever. Or, on ocean, or no. There's buoys out in the sea, and those are probably going to be bringing the wind measurements. We don't have an update yet. But right now, Ada, as of the last update, Ada had 130 knot wind with, and that is 150 miles per hour, gusting up to a 185 miles per hour. Its minimum central pressure of 923 millibars, located at 14 north and 82.8 west. Movement west-southwest at 5 knots. Which is around 6 miles per hour, so very slow-moving storm, and that's why we're going to be seeing those landslides and the very, very heavy rain. So, let's take a look and see if any of the wind, let's see if any of the stations in the areas have been catching any wind. So the wind has not moved as far as Rosita yet. Oh no. Okay, whoopsie. The wind has not moved as far as Rosita yet, but that probably will be moving in since Rosita will experience Category 2 Hurricane Ada. We're not going to be seeing Ada weaken very quickly, since Ada will be moving so slowly. For Ada to stay that strong over that much of land is quite shocking, to be honest. So really, we could be seeing Ada stay a strong hurricane for quite some time. Category 5 landfall. Definitely some bad storm surge. We're going to be tracking that also. We'll probably get a better idea of what that's going to be next update. So really, a lot of stuff is falling on that next update. That wind, what the peak intensity and what landfall intensity will be, whether we'll be seeing, or what storm surge we'll be seeing, and also the newer tracks is what will probably be, or the new track line is what we'll be seeing. So really, we're going to be seeing a lot of stuff coming up in the next 20 minutes. So it's really coming down to the last hair. And let's go over to this model right now. And we don't have an octopus, or we do. I call this the octopus spaghetti model because it looks exactly like an octopus. This is just something I've noticed while doing the work. Or a jellyfish, but as you can see, in some areas we could be seeing Ada strengthen down to a 980 millibars, which is around Category 1 hurricane strength. So some models are now predicting Category 1 strength. It's possible we could be seeing tropical storm strength. That is why the National Hurricane Center track is showing tropical storms to form right around in this area. That's why the National Hurricane Center is showing a tropical storm for that area to form. So that's what we are seeing. As far as intensity guidance goes, we're going to be seeing a very rapid weakening and then possibly re-strengthening soon. Basically the same stuff we have been seeing. And then the funky models that just want to go anywhere with this storm. Since if you guys have any questions right now, please comment them. I'm saying that a lot because I'm really just waiting, trying to pass the time before we get that next update, because that next update is going to be quite important. It's going to show how close that storm is and all the other stuff I mentioned. So any questions you have, comment them. I'm going to look at I'm tired. The comments right now. That's why the National Hurricane Center is showing a tropical storm for that area to form. So that's what we are seeing. As far as intensity guidance goes, we're going to be seeing a very rapid weakening and then possibly re-strengthening soon. Basically the same stuff we have been seeing. And then the funky models that just want to go anywhere with this storm. Since if you guys have any questions right now, please comment them. I'm saying that a lot because I'm really just waiting, trying to pass the time before we get that next update, because that next update is going to be quite important. It's going to show how close that storm is and all the other stuff I mentioned. So any questions you have, comment them. I'm going to look at so yes,
I'm
all
tired.
the stuff
The
they
comments
said in the
right
comments
now.
is more than likely bound to happen. So we need to keep an eye definitely on that. Let's refresh the storm website, whatever. See if the newest update has come out. It hasn't yet. We're probably gonna wait. It'll probably be around maybe 11:50 if we're, maybe around 2:50 if we're lucky. We'll likely be seeing the new update around 2:57. That's usually the 57 mark is usually when we see that update, the initial update. So let's take a look at the satellite imagery again. So look at that, just perfect eye, about to make landfall, and it's been battering this island right here just for hours and hours, basically, of them being in that eye wall with the strongest winds, gusting up to 189 miles per hour. That's really enough to topple any home, unless it's like a concrete building, unless you're at the Mount Washington Observatory, because that's really the only place I know that can withstand that kind of wind. So very wild winds in these areas. And we're going to be seeing that hurricane force wind probably moving on right now, since as you can see the center is moving quite close. So that minimal hurricane force wind is probably starting then to move on, and we're probably seeing some stronger hurricane force wind as of now. And luckily I do believe this will update as of the 3 a.m. update. So we'll definitely be seeing what is going to happen and how far in this storm has moved and how far in the wind is, and that'll definitely give us an idea of how progressed inward how close this is to landfall and what the people inland are probably going to start experiencing quite soon. So that's what we're going to have to be watching. It's 11:45 almost, so that means the update is very, very near. As you can see, look at this. Look how close that landfall is. There's the low pressure right there. So very close to landfall. And there really isn't any weather stations in the area. So I think only buoys are the only thing we have to give us any kind of wind information. And as you can see, sporadic models are what we're seeing right now. It's looking like we could be seeing more of an effect in Belize. The models are starting to take more of a curve towards Belize and then out over into the Caribbean. So that's definitely something that I've been repeatedly saying on this live stream, because that's really the most important thing that we're watching with this, is that recurve. Let's take a look at another look at the hurricane models. I want to go over the H-Wharf model, see what it's saying, if it's updated any. It still has pressure at 927, which is inaccurate. I do believe this doesn't update a lot, but look at this. We're going to be seeing a little more strengthening as predicted by the H-Wharf model. That's probably already happened, maybe still happening. We'll have to determine that based on the next update. Landfall as landfall, and then going to weaken to a tropical storm right around the border of Honduras and Nicaragua. And then we're going to be seeing just a bunch of wildness. The H-Wharf model is really kind of showing a lot different of a track than it was earlier today, so I'm really confused. I'm really not sure why we're seeing them go out to the Pacific, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. And as you can see right now, the GFS is showing a high over Florida. We need to track that because I do believe that is going to move out. I did forget to mention this earlier. There's a high right there. Look at that. That's going to move out, and that leaves the possibility, if Eta were to come up here, to hit really anywhere in the Gulf. So based on that high moving out, that's really why we'll be seeing Eta go up into Florida and cause some trouble. So that's what we're going to be seeing. It's 11:46. I'm going to check the comments again. Kind of crazy checking the comments all the time. It's a bunch of wildness. The H-Wharf model is really kind of showing a lot different of a track than it was earlier today, so I'm really confused. I'm really not sure why we're seeing them go out to the Pacific, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. And as you can see right now, the GFS is showing a high over Florida. We need to track that because I do believe that is going to move out. I did forget to mention this earlier. There's a high right there. Look at that. That's going to move out, and that leaves the possibility, if Eta were to come up here, to hit really anywhere in the Gulf. So based on that high moving out, that's really why we'll be seeing crazy long stream we've been going for. Let me see how many hours. 46. I'm gonna check the comments again. For 2 hours. Kind of crazy checking the comments all the time. So we've been going for a long time. So 2 hours straight. I'm gonna scroll down a bit and let's see what it says. 2:30 a.m. Update statement. Nice. Okay, so we have winds, let's see here, of 150 still, and it's it doesn't give pressure. No, it does. 923 millibars, still the same. So it's looking like we have seen Eta peak now. So I do believe Eta has peaked. Still, I don't know if there's going to be more intensification, but I do think we have seen Eta peak. So that's basically what we're going to be seeing right now. We're just waiting for that landfall to occur, and we're going to be likely seeing some more strengthening from Eta if or once Eta goes back out into the Caribbean, which is quite likely because the water temperatures in the area are very warm as of now, and we're going to be seeing some more. I'm sorry. We're going to. I'm really tired, but So the water temperatures are really warm, and that's why we're going to be seeing some intensification. And the other reason we could be seeing some intensification in the Gulf is because the water temperatures are really warm. But luckily, if Eta tracks more towards Louisiana, we probably would see some weakening because look at that. The water temperatures are quite low in that area, not very conducive for hurricane development. That's why that's something we'll have to keep a very close eye on right now is the water temperatures, because if that trend does carry out that the GFS was predicting, where Eta moves up into the Gulf and into Louisiana, we definitely have to keep an eye on the water temperature and definitely the wind shear, because if that wind shear is strong, then luckily the storm may be sheared off. I will be looking at the wind shear in the future. I'm not going to do it on the stream because really we're not focused on that right now. We're really focused on the landfall that's about to happen in the next coming hour. And speaking of landfalls, I'm going to go over what the likely wind speeds will be for the area where landfall is going to occur. So in the next 20 minutes, hurricane force wind speeds on where the landfall area is will probably start to increase. By the time the peak of the storm, by the time the eye of the storm passes by, I would expect winds sustained of 140 to 150 miles per hour, gusting up to around 170, maybe 180 miles per hour. So catastrophic winds, and definitely we're going to be also seeing some catastrophic flooding, and we'll probably see some strong winds quite a bit inland too. This is where I think the strongest, this is about how far inland I think the strong winds will go. We may see it go a little further. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. We need to keep an eye on the storm surge and the flooding, because the storm surge is supposed to just be absolutely horrendous. So I'm going to go to the National Hurricane Center, which I accidentally X'd out of. So at the 2:30 update, it was at Category 4 still. I think that's where we'll see it peak. Winds right now 150 miles per hour, 923 millibars. And let's take a look. So we're going to be seeing 14 to 21 feet of storm surge, which is enough to cover an entire one-story home. So be very careful if you're in that area, because the storm surge is just going to be insane, absolutely insane. I do believe we have some more comments, so I'm going to go check on those. Eye on that. We need to keep an eye on the storm surge and the flooding, because the storm surge is supposed to just be absolutely horrendous. So I'm going to go to the National Hurricane Center, prayers for them, definitely. Which I accidentally X'd out of. Hurricane force winds on land. Yep, 79 miles per hour. So at the 2:30 update, it was at Category 4 still. I think that's where we'll see it peak. Winds right now 150 miles per hour, 923 millibars. And let's take a look. So we're going to be seeing 14 to 21 feet of storm surge, which is enough to cover an entire... I was definitely expecting that hurricane force wind to be on there right now, because that is getting very, very close to landfall. So that's why we're seeing that wind speed. I'm going to go in here and see, do we have a new track line or anything like that? It doesn't look like we do. I don't think this main page has updated yet, so we're going to... Probably at 11:57 the main page will update when we get all the nice models and maps and everything to go from to give more accurate predictions. I'm going to update this page and we'll see how close the storm is to landfall, see if the radar has, the satellite imagery has updated any bit. No, it hasn't, so it's still tootling around close to landfall. We'll be seeing that landfall quite soon, really, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as it moves on towards landfall. So, yeah, basically... it's what we've been seeing. Let's take a look at the surface analysis, see if any wind on any kind of thing has been reported. Really, we're not seeing any wind, shockingly, but that's really because there's no weather stations in the area, so nothing that can report any kind of differences. Let's take a look at the pressure change. As you can see, negative 5.1 inches, so I think that's inches. So a lot of pressure change. So that's because Ada is in this area, and Ada has a very low pressure. So I would expect an extreme pressure drop, especially for these areas right here. So I've even heard of, like, in Category 4 or Category 5's people's ears popping because the pressure is just so low. I don't know if it'll be that low, but still. We're going to be seeing some very, very low pressure out of this storm, and I'm going to go back to the National Hurricane Center, hoping for an update here, hoping that we'll get the newest models and maps and stuff still, the same as it has been. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to stop speaking until 11:57, or I'm sorry, my clock is really off. At 2:57 I'm going to be talking again. And I'm going to be taking a look at what I think will be the new models and maps. Going to be talking again, and I'm going to be taking a look at what I think will be the new models and maps.
gonna be talking again, and I'm gonna be taking a look at what I think will be the new models and maps. Talking again, and I'm gonna be taking a look at what I think will be the new models and maps. So we're probably going to get that update soon. Usually an update every 3 hours possibly. So hopefully soon. I just really need to know that location. The 250 statement, let's see, does it give us coordinates? A wind gust of 74 has been recorded at the at Puerto Cabezas Airport in Nicaragua. Okay, so 74 mile-an-hour winds, Category 1 hurricane. It is located 13.9, 83 west. So previously located at 14. So it's definitely moved a good bit. So at, let's see, its coordinates were 13.9, 83 west. So 83 is about right here, and 13 is right around. So it's looking like Ada's probably moved down a little bit more. So based on what I have seen, it's still moving downwards in that direction. It's gonna It's coming very close to landfall right now. So oh. Why am I clicking my screen recording button? So it's moving down still a little bit, but it's probably going to move on to land quite soon up in that general direction like that. And that's probably what we'll be seeing, hopefully, now that it's at 2:59, that we'll have 3 a.m. No, we won't. Okay, so I guess we're not going to be getting an update, which is very sad. I'm going to go in and see if anybody else has commented. This is a very hard one to predict because we don't really have any... 13 is right around. So it's looking like Ada's probably moved down a little bit more. Kind of information. I'm really actually kind of shocked we don't have a 3 o'clock update. So still... getting close to landfall. We're hopefully going to get some better satellite imagery soon of how close it actually is. Really, roughly, what we're seeing is the same old stuff so far. So I'm going to be taking a break, and I'll be back at 3:10 in the morning.
I'll be back at 12:10 or 3:10. I'll be back at 12:10. Okay, it's 12:10 and I am back. Okay, we're going to be going again, and I just heard we have a new aircraft recon mission going in, so we're going to check out that. Let's hope we do. Let's hope we do. And yes, we do. Look at that. It's leaving. You can tell it is leaving the coast right now, just initially leaving. Finally, we're going to get some aircraft recon, so we're going to have to watch that. That'll be interesting to watch over the next hour. They're going to be moving into the eye of the hurricane over this. Sorry. Oh, that was mission number 6. So mission number 5, they're getting really close to the eye right now. They're going to be going into the hurricane, so we'll have some more data on Hurricane Ada quite soon, and that'll help us get ready for the next update, which is actually going to be coming out in an hour. Sorry, I miscalculated the update, so that is my mistake. What I really want to bring you to is windy.com right now, which is a very nice website that shows you wind maps. Look at this. How nice. Wind maps. And really, this is, you can pick any model, NAM, ECMWF, or GFS. I'm going to use the ECMWF right now, only because the NAM model doesn't work for global. So, here's what we're going to be seeing. Here's Puerto Cabezas. Let's take a look at what their wind forecast based on windy.com is. So let's see. Windy.com, based on the, I believe, NAM or ECMWF, is only predicting 91 mile an hour winds, which I think is quite unlikely as of now, unless the storm is going to pass them. Let's take a look at the GFS and see if there's going to be any difference in Puerto Cabezas. Let's see, Puerto Cabezas. 71 miles an hour, so it may be going further down than Puerto Cabezas, maybe down to this town, Wawa, it looks like. Oddly enough, I think the strongest winds are going to be up somewhere around here. This is really perplexing to me because usually Windy seems to have pretty accurate predictions based on wind, and it just doesn't seem to be. Yeah, it's only saying high winds of 86 miles per hour, so I don't really know what's going on here, but as you can see, landfall in Puerto Cabezas, probably the strongest winds will be down near Holiver, or the other town I can't pronounce, I'm sorry. We're going to be seeing it basically just tootle around, and then if we zoom on out a little bit, we're going to be seeing it just tootle around in that area, just bringing those strong winds and probably heavy rain into that area. And we'll eventually see the center move in. And then we'll be able to get a nice idea of what New Orleans could see based on what the GFS is showing, since GFS is showing that we could be seeing New Orleans get some of the effects of this storm. So let's go out way out in the future, as you can see, tootling around Florida and everything. So we could be seeing some strong winds in Florida, definitely some strong winds for Florida. Quite a bit of strong winds down near Tampa. And then we'll be seeing Ada move out and just tootling around right there. And then moving out over waters into the Gulf. Wow, just so slow. moving out in... Okay. Maybe the model's updated because this is not what the GFS was showing last I looked. So maybe the model's updated. If so, it's just showing that the GFS is just showing that it's going to tootle around. Let's take a look at the ECMWF for way in the future. ECMWF is taking it, just tootling it around the tip of Mexico and then taking it up into Florida. So we could be seeing some strong winds in Florida. Take a look at that. We may be seeing a very close, possibly a landfall in Florida or somewhere else in the Gulf. So as you can see, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. And the ECMWF really has it strengthening over water, so we'll definitely have to keep a good little bit of an eye on that. Let's refresh this page and see if we have any more on hurricane aircraft recon missions. It doesn't seem like they're in the storm yet. They'll be arriving quite soon, more than likely. Let's take a look at the winds they've had so far. Really nothing bad yet, but they're going to be moving on into the storm there, so they're going to be getting some stronger winds quite soon. Let's take... So we just looked at windy.com, and that gives us some good wind predictions on what we're going to be seeing. So I'm going to quickly look and see if there's any questions or comments here. We may be seeing a very close, possibly a landfall in Florida or somewhere else. We're going to be moving off back onto the video. Man, oh man, this is a long stream. I really don't know if I've been streaming. I don't think I've ever streamed this long. The longest I've streamed. Let's take a look at the winds they've had so far. Really nothing bad yet, but they're going to be moving on. The longest I've ever streamed before this was an hour and 20 minutes. So you can imagine 3 hours of just constantly talking is really tough. I'm going to go to current storms. Let's hope the radar... I think the satellite... Oh, come on, satellite. Let's update. I don't think it's updated a little bit, but as you can see, it may... I just see a slight chance of what looks like a possible eyewall replacement. I may be wrong, but that's what I'm seeing. Just a slight chance of that. That really won't affect anything, I don't believe, before landfall. Look at that. Right about landfall. We're going to be seeing that landfall. Some models are still quite unknowns. They're basically like, oh, we don't know, and we're not going to know. That's basically what some of the models are showing, like the ones that are going out into the Pacific. They're the we don't know and we don't know what's going to go happen models. Then there's other models who kind of have an idea, and then some who are just like, we don't have any idea. So basically, anywhere in this general area, we're going to be seeing landfall right around here. That's landfall possibility area and effects area for Ada. So a lot of models are still not 100% agreeing with each other here. The intensity guidance is still as follows. We're going to be seeing category 4 strength. Then once landfall happens, boom, weakening almost rapidly, extremely fast weakening. But I mean, that's normal, especially for a low moving storm over land. That's quite normal. And the fact that we'll be seeing that, and then we'll possibly be seeing Ada weaken down into a depression and then strengthen back up into a tropical storm. The LGEM model is even bringing Ada back up to a Category 1 hurricane. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye out for that. We'll have to keep an eye on Ada, especially for that. So it's looking like we'll be seeing some very strong winds. Let's go to aircraft recon, see if we have any more news. Nope, looking like it's basically the same distance right now. We haven't really had any flight level data, so we'll be I'm really interested to see what that aircraft recon is showing, because that'll definitely bring us more clarity on what's happening. So finally we may get some more clarity. And we're going to be seeing those winds in Puerto Cabeza. I think I totally forgot the name and mispronounced it. We're going to be seeing winds there increasingly intensify. I will be back at 12:55. My throat's starting to hurt from talking so much. I'll be back at 3:25. We'll be back at 3:25. 3:25. 3:25. Okay, it's time to start streaming, or time to start up once again. So, at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, not 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, I'm going to be responding to some comments. Let's get back to the stream and check on the aircraft recon mission that is going out right now. It doesn't look like they have been any further. Maybe they're going on this mission number 6. We'll have to keep an eye on that. So it does look like they have gone further on mission number 6. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. They'll probably start getting they'll probably start getting some information quite soon in the next couple of minutes. I'm also hoping that at 3:30 the National Hurricane Center will upload a tiny, like a snippet update like they did at 2:30. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. So far, basically everything is remaining the same. Satellite imagery, I do want to take you to that, is just, see this little lip of a band right there. Either that could be another band in the storm, but the last time I've seen that happen, that does sort of look like the start of an eye wall replacement. Whether the system will have time to do that or not is questionable, but it looks like maybe the start where the inner it looks like the start of the inner eye wall being pushed out and a new wall being put in. So I definitely think we may be starting to see that. So we may see a little bit of weakening, but I don't think Ada will have enough time to really go through a full eye wall replacement before Ada will make landfall right into land and just be sheared apart by the dry land, and then be subject to moving out over the water again. Here are the tracks which we've been seeing for the past hour, over and over and over. Still some of those weirdos out there. Sorry, calling you weirdos. Still some people, or still some models taking it all the way out into the Pacific, and a good bit of models are still taking it up into the Caribbean, or back into the Caribbean and up into Cuba. So we'll need to keep an eye on that scenario, because that could be causing the U.S. to need to keep an eye on Ada. We're going to be seeing rapid weakening once Ada makes landfall, and we could be seeing Ada turn back into a Category 1 hurricane out over the Caribbean, or back in, or into the Atlantic. So that's what we could be seeing in the next couple of days. So that's definitely something we'll have to keep an eye on. And the rain bands in this storm will be quite big, so I would expect a lot of rain, not only for the areas that are getting landfall right now, but for other areas where this storm will be affecting once it goes back into the Caribbean. So let's take a look here and see if we have a quick little update. There is a 2:30 update, so public advisory, public, let's see what this says, bulletin. Okay. So extremely dangerous Hurricane Eta nearing the coast of northeastern Nicaragua, life-threatening storm surge, catastrophic winds, flash flooding, and landslides are expected. So let's see, about 40 miles now off the coast of Puerto Cabezas, Nicaragua, about 75 miles from Cabo Gracia, it's either Great Gracias or, I'm sorry, I'm not good at the pronunciations. Maximum sustained winds of 140 miles per hour. Present movement at 6 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure of 923 millibars. Tropical storm warning. Here's all the places where hurricane warning is in effect for the coast of Nicaragua from Honduras / Nicaragua border to Sandy Bay, Sirpi. A tropical storm warning is in effect for the northeastern coast of Honduras from Punta Patuca. I'm so sorry for messing the name up, to Honduras and the Nicaragua border. And a hurricane watch is in effect for the northeastern coast of Honduras from Punta Patuca to the Honduras Nicaragua border. So that's what we're basically seeing. Let's see, discussion and outlook. So Category 4 winds and could become a Category 5 before landfall. Weakening will begin after the cyclone moves inland. So we're going to be oh no, I just closed out. So we're definitely going to be seeing some new information once that the aircraft recon goes through the hurricane. That'll definitely bring us the best and newest information. Let's see. Do we have a 3:30 statement? No, we do not. So sadly, we don't have any of that. We'll have to wait until the 4 o'clock update. So we still have about 30 minutes now. Let's take a look at the aircraft recon, see how far that has gone. It's still moving quite fast. A very fast-moving aircraft. That'll probably be in the next 10 to 15 minutes, probably. I'm so sorry for that ad. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, we'll be seeing the aircraft recon officially move into the storm and start taking data of it. Let's go into the live stream, and if you have any questions or comments, please. Inland. So right we're gonna be oh no, I just closed out. Okay. So we're definitely going to be seeing some new information once that Southeast Texas by November 16th. The aircraft recon goes through the hurricane. That'll definitely bring us the best and newest information. Let's see. Do we have a 3:30 statement? No, we do not. So sadly, we don't have any of that. We'll have to wait until the 4 o'clock update. So we still have about 30 minutes now. Let's take a look at the. Please, what kind of difference do you mean? Just clarify that for me, and I'll answer that. So I'm gonna rewind and hope that ad goes away. Okay, it's gone. Okay, so what are we gonna be looking at now? Let's see. So we really haven't had much of an update on anything in quite a while. So we're really going to be just focusing on this aircraft recon right now. As you can see, still moving quite fast. It'll be in the eye soon. So hopefully it goes in the eye before we have the 4 o'clock update. I'm not sure about that. It may be able to make one pass through the eye. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. I'm sorry about the paper sound you just heard. As you can see, it's gone quite far so far. And it's moving a very fast speed. So let's see. What difference do you mean? Just clarify that for me and I'll answer that. So yes, we are tracking this storm. Still looking very nice. Possibly showing signs of an eye well replacement. But we'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to get a sip of water again. My throat is really starting to hurt after so many hours of talking. I hope I don't lose my voice tomorrow. I don't think I will, though. Okay, so now let's take a look at the models, see if any have updated. So yes, the GFS is showing clipping of Texas with Ada, so definitely have to keep an eye on that. Definitely a Louisiana landfall from the GFS, which is worst case scenario based on all the other landfalls we have had. Let's go back to the aircraft recon, see if they've made it any further. This does update every 10 minutes when there is a recon mission going out. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, and I do believe on the next update, we'll have winds in Ada recording around 150 miles per hour. I think Ada has peaked. I don't think we'll see any more strengthening out of Ada, but it is possible we could see more. So we're basically just going to be staying on here waiting for this to update and keep watching this mission. So far, it's gone so far. It just left Louisiana, or no, it's just left Mississippi. It's flown through Louisiana, is going out over ocean to intercept the eye of Ada. That would be a really cool job. I just have to say this while I'm waiting for a little more information and everything, while we really are in a lull, I'd say, of information. It would definitely be an amazing job to go out and fly through that. It's just something you don't get to do often. We're gonna keep taking a look at this. So far, let's take a look at the environmental pressure. This is something important to know when we get around to the hurricane, to see how low it actually is compared to the rest of the environment. Environmental pressure is around 1,019. Winds are around 25 miles per hour at flight level. So in the hurricane, you can tell it's way, way stronger than the environment. Like 923 millibars is extremely low compared to 1,017. That is a lot. Usually when you get down to that pressure, you do have hurricane-like winds and very nasty weather. So it's just showing you, it really shows you how bad a pressure difference can make the weather. Okay. So I don't think we have had a new update on the recon. The aircraft recon will be updated. That way we can take another look and see how far they are, and whether we're going to get any information before the next update at 4. Okay, it is 3:40 now. We are back. We're going to be taking another look at the aircraft recon, see if it's gone any further. Yes, it has, and I don't think we're going to be seeing... I don't think it's going to be able to fly through Ada by the time we have an update, so we'll be getting this update quite soon. Really, the location is the most important thing as of now. For me, I really want to know where that location is, because that's definitely something we've been tracking, and this is a landfall stream, so hopefully I'll be able to stay up long enough to capture landfall on video. I'm getting really tired as of now, and really we don't have much to report on, so any questions you may have, I'm going to get into the live. I think we're going to be seeing I don't think it's going to be able to fly through Ada by the time we have an update, so we'll be getting this update quite soon.
I definitely agree with that.
Really, the location is the most important thing as of now. For me,
update with 925 millibars and 100.
Where that location is. Because that's definitely something we've been tracking, and this is a landfall stream, so hopefully I'll be able to stay up long enough to capture landfall on video. I'm getting really tired as of now, and really we don't have much to report on, so any questions you may have, I'm going to get into I think we're going to be seeing I don't think it's going to be able to fly through Ada by the time we have an update, so we'll be getting this update quite soon.
I definitely agree with that.
Really, the location is the most important thing as of now. For me,
update with 925 millibars and 100.
Where that location is. Because that's definitely something we've been tracking, and this is a landfall stream, so hopefully I'll be able to stay up long enough to capture landfall on video. I'm getting really tired as of now, and really we don't have much to report on, so any questions you may have, I'm going to get into I think we're going to be seeing I don't think it's going to be able to fly through Ada by the time we have an update, so we'll be getting this update quite soon.
I definitely agree with that.
Really, the location is the most important thing as of now. For me, where that location is. That's definitely something we've been tracking, and this is a landfall stream, so hopefully I'll be able to stay up long enough to capture landfall on video. I'm getting really tired as of now, and really we don't have much to report on, so any questions you may have, I'm going to get into I think we're going to be seeing I don't think it's going to be able to fly through Ada by the time we have an update, so we'll be getting this update quite soon.
I definitely agree with that.
Really, the location is the most important thing as of now. For me, where that location is. That's definitely something we've been tracking, and this is a landfall stream, so hopefully I'll be able to stay up long enough to capture landfall on video. I'm getting really tired as of now, and really we don't have much to report on, so any questions you may have, I'm going to get into I think we're going to be seeing I don't think it's going to be able to fly through Ada by the time we have an update, so we'll be getting this update quite soon.
I definitely agree with that.
Really, the location is the most important thing as of now. For me, where that location is. That's definitely something we've been tracking, and this is a landfall stream, so hopefully I'll be able to stay up long enough to capture landfall on video. I'm getting really tired as of
now, and really we don't have much to report on. So, any questions you may have, I'm going to get into very quickly on a lot of things we're going to be seeing. I don't think it's going to be able to fly through by the time we have an update. So, we can get something here. A really good location is the most important thing as of now. For me,
down to around 15 minutes before the next update. So the landfall will be quite soon now.
That's definitely something we've been tracking, and this is a landslide stream, so hopefully I'll be able to stay up long enough to capture landfall on video and getting really tired as of now, and really we don't have much to report on. So any questions you may have, I'm going to get into very quickly on a lot of things we're going to be seeing. I don't think it's going to be able to fly through by the time we have an update. So we can get something here. A really good location is the most important thing as of now. For me, that's definitely something we've been tracking, and this is a landslide stream, so hopefully I'll be able to stay up long enough to capture landfall on video and getting really tired as of now, and really we don't have much to report on. So any questions you may have, I'm going to get into very quickly on a lot of things we're going to be seeing. I don't think it's going to be able to fly through by the time we have an update. So we can get something here. A really good location is the most important thing as of
probably less than that, but the stronger ones right now
and this is a landslide stream, so hopefully I'll be able to stay up long enough to capture landfall on video and getting really tired as of now, and really we don't have much to report on. So any questions you may have, I'm going to get into very quickly on a lot of things we're going to be seeing. I don't think it's going to be able to fly through by the time we have an update. So we can get something here. A really good location is the most important thing as of
Now there shouldn't be two of me talking. If there's still two of me talking, then we have a problem. I had the video playing at the same time. Maybe I had the sound off. Maybe somehow we were hitting off of that some way, somehow. I don't know. Please remind me in the next couple of minutes. I'll be checking comments. If there's still two of me, then we have a good bit of a problem. Okay, so we're going to be waiting for that aircraft recon to update. National Hurricane Center. Let's see if it's updated yet. No update yet. So no update.
I don't think it's going to be able to fly through by the time we have an update.
Now there shouldn't be two of me talking. If there's still two of me talking, then we have a problem. I had the video playing at the same time. Maybe I had the sound off. Technical difficulty. Sorting out some problems with the sound. I'm gonna be quiet while I'm waiting for a response here. Couple of minutes. I'll be checking comments. If there's still two of me, then we have a good bit of a problem. Okay, so we're going to be waiting for that aircraft recon to update. National Hurricane Center. Let's see if it's updated yet. No update yet. So no update. So I'm going to go into OBS. Now there shouldn't be two of me talking. If there's still two of me talking, then we have a problem. I had the video playing at the same time. Maybe... Please. Okay, can you hear me? I think that's good. I see one of the audio markers moving. Really having some audio problems now. Please tell me this is working. Please tell me this is working. Is it working? Okay, so we're definitely gonna have to fix that. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this down and back up. Can you hear me? Desktop audio is cut out. So, mic... Please! Oh, boy. Okay, can you hear me? I think that's good. I see one of the audio markers moving. Really having some audio problems now. Please tell me this is working. Please tell me this is working. Is it working? Okay, so we're definitely gonna have to fix that. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this down and back up. Can you hear me? Desktop audio is cut out.
So, Mike, please.
Oh, boy.
Okay, can you hear me? I think that's good. I see one of the audio markers moving. Really having some audio problems now. Please tell me this is working. Please tell me this is working. Is it working? Okay, so we're definitely gonna have to fix that. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this down and back up. Can you hear me? Desktop audio is cut out. So, Mike, please.
Oh, boy.
Okay, can you hear me? I think that's good. I see one of the audio markers moving. Really having some audio problems now. Please tell me this is working. Please tell me this is working. Is it working? Okay, so we're definitely gonna have to fix that. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this down and back up. Can you hear me? Desktop audio is cut out. So, Mike, please.
Oh, boy.
Okay, can you hear me? I think that's good. I see one of the audio markers moving. Really having some audio problems now. Please tell me this is working. Please tell me this is working. Is it working? Okay, so we're definitely gonna have to fix that. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this down and back up. Can you hear me? Desktop audio is cut out. So, Mike, please.
Oh, boy.
Okay, can you hear me? I think that's good. I see one of the audio markers moving. Really having some audio problems now. Please tell me this is working. Please tell me this is working. Is it working? Okay, so we're definitely gonna have to fix that. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this down and back up. Can you hear me? Desktop audio is cut out. So, Mike, please. Okay, can you hear me? I think that's good. I see one of the audio markers moving. Really having some audio problems now. Please tell me this is working. Please tell me this is working. Is it working? Okay, so we're definitely gonna have to fix that. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this down and back up. Can you hear me? Desktop audio is cut out. So, Mike, please. Okay, can you hear me? I think that's good. I see one of the audio markers moving. Really having some audio problems now. Please tell me this is working. Please tell me this is working. Is it working? Okay, so we're definitely gonna have to fix that. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this down and back up. Okay, can you hear me? I think that's good. I see one of the audio markers moving.
Well, hello everybody. Happy Monday. A couple of new things today. One, I've got a green screen.